Purple Daily on
Amazing.
Just fitting.
Very fitting. Presented by Surly Brewing Company.
Very fitting that even the sound bar is freezing up and having a hard time operating here. I don't know what the hell is happening in Vikingsville today, but I think this is unprecedented. I can think of maybe have we ever gone live at halftime?
I don't think so. Not at halftime. We've gone live. We went live right during the Cowboys game, I think, in the fourth. And then maybe a couple times, maybe like one or two other times. But outside of that, no, this is unprecedented for us.
And Judd goes live on TikTok at halftime usually, but
right.
this is the actual. I mean, we're literally starting Ventline right now at halftime of a 33-0 absolute embarrassment and ass kicking by one of the worst teams in the NFL, the Indianapolis Colts. Judd will join us, so he covers these games in the press box, and there's an NFL rule that says you can't go live on any platform from an NFL game during the game window. So he's actually leaving the game right now, heading over to the Score North studios. He will join us at some point. We will turn the show over to you guys. Vikings Vent Line is the most fan-friendly, interactive, and therapeutic show in all of Minnesota sports. You can find us exclusively on the Purple Daily YouTube channel. Please click subscribe and the like button. That's really the only thing that it costs you for this therapy session. We can spread the word about this Vikings community. The show is presented by our friends at Surly Brewing Company and TCL, one of the world's best-selling consumer electronics brands. They have a new lineup of award-winning TVs delivering the most entertainment with stunning resolution, all at an affordable cost. Enjoy more of the things you love with TCL. I'm Phil Mackey. That's our executive producer, Declan Goff. You can, if you want to get on the show, you can send us a request, vikingsventline@gmail.com. We'll try to get to as many of you guys as possible here during the second half, and we will also pop your comments on the screen from the YouTube comment section. But, I mean, this is another T-shirt and hat game, right? It's a home game. You're going to bounce back after an embarrassing blip against the Lions, a bunch of come-to-Jesus meetings. You know what? I know what I think I found here. Not only did the come-to-Jesus defensive meetings not work because the Vikings have been completely unable to stop, although they have held the Colts to 4 field goals, bend but don't break, I guess. Did they just, forget to talk offense all week, too? What is happening? I've gone from, Kevin O'Connell is a generationally great hire for the Vikings. I'm not out on him, but dude, what are you guys doing? Back-to-back games, and this is one of the most embarrassing halves of football I have ever seen watching Vikings football. I was born in 1985. 41 donut in the NFC Championship game was embarrassing, maybe because the magnitude of the game and the stage and just the stakes with the Super Bowl on the horizon. You're still going to get multiple cracks at winning your division here, but this is, considering the opponent, considering just everything that you've built so far with a 10-win season, a home game here, this is one of the most embarrassing halves of football I can ever remember watching, Declan. What are they doing?
Yeah, that was bad. And the most amazing part is 33 points and just one offensive touchdown for the Colts. Just one offensive touchdown for the Colts. You had a special teams blunder. You had a scoop and score. You had a pick six. All facets are awful here. And this is where a head coach is the CEO of this team, and he's the one making these hires. And I know, look, Ed Donatel is awful. Matt Daniels, who we've honestly also praised a lot this season, not having a great day. All three facets of your football team are terrible right now. And that falls on your head coach. That's just hey, fire. I know a lot of fans are saying it right now in the YouTube comments. Just fire Ed Donatel. He's got to go. And I don't disagree with that.
Yeah.
But that's not going to just all of a sudden, we fired Ed Donatel and now business as usual. We're back to playing Vikings football. It unfortunately is not just going to work like that. He's got to go, but it doesn't work like that.
I think it's tough because today the defense has been bad, but the defense has also been dealt a number of really short fields. I mean, twice in the first quarter, right? The Vikings went for it from their own 32-yard line, 31-yard line, whiffed. And then they try a fake punt on the next possession from virtually the same spot on the field, and they bungle that. And so here you go, Ed. I know your job's on the line and you're on the road. I'm not trying to defend the guy here, but, like you said, the 33 points are a reflection of not just bad defense, but terrible field position that you are gifting the Colts because of your own incompetence on offense and on special teams. And then the pick six, which I know I know a lot of people are going to blame Kirk Cousins for that because it was just an atrocious pick six at a terrible time. What was Jalen Reagor doing on that play? He's sitting right in the soft spot of the zone. I guess he saw a defender flash and decided, I'm going to move to my right as Kirk is releasing the ball. So I put that one more on Jalen Reagor than Kirk Cousins if you sort of watch that replay again. So I guess what I'm saying is it's hard at this point to say, well, okay, we're going to fire Donatel. Because if you're Ed, you can say, okay, I get that defense wasn't exactly a stalwart today, but what about the special teams blunders, the offensive blunders that put my guys in a terrible position? So it's just like every possible phase of the game has been embarrassing for the Vikings today. And I don't really know how you collect yourselves and push forward with any credibility after what's happening today. So they're lucky that they won all those games early in the season because, again, all they have to do is win one more game at any point in the next month, and they win their division.
Like, what's even going to happen tomorrow if the Lions do indeed lose? I know Zach Wilson's going to have to start for the Jets, and you back in your way to a division title. But, like, is there any pomp and circumstance? Is there any type of self-validation that, all right, sweet, we got the division. We have a guaranteed home playoff game on Wild Card weekend. Like, I would still feel like crap if I was a player or coach of this team. Like, it'd be amazing.
I know it would be a weird feeling. I mean, I guess you would kind of celebrate because ultimately it's a full season accomplishment to win a division any way you can. The other thing here too is, I mean, assuming that they don't, have this historical comeback, 33-point comeback in the second half. Based on the conference record tiebreaker, the Vikings with a loss will move into the 3rd seed in the NFC. The Niners, who are tied record-wise, have a better conference record. They will move into the 2 seed. So, let's do it here. This is unprecedented. It's halftime Vikings vent line, not just like a 12-minute version. No, this is the full show that we have started at halftime. Judd will join us as he makes his way from US Bank Stadium to the Score North studios. So, if we've got some people ready to rock and roll here, we'll turn the therapy session over. Who's first up on Vikings Vent Line?
I don't think there's anyone more perfect to start things off. Chancey and Fargo.
Yes, dude. Oh my God, you are the person we need right now, Chancey. Please go ahead.
I haven't called in much this year because, well, one, we've been winning, but I got high cholesterol. I suffer a little bit of anxiety, and I've just been trying to take it easy. But this one's putting me over the top, guys. I think I might have the big one here in my garage. You know what? You got to give it to the Vikings. Nobody gets their ass kicked like the Minnesota Vikings. When they want to lose, they really lose. 41 donut, that 2017 NFC title game, this Cowboys game, this Colts game. Nobody kicks their fans in the nuts as hard as the Vikings. Nobody. I am so sick of it. For the good fan base we have that travel and follow this team, to put out these kind of efforts, it's just embarrassing. For the NFL Network, I was so glad today I don't have NFL Network, but it was pretty damn tough trying to listen to PA put lipstick on this pig. How embarrassing. You want to hear painful, go listen to that first half, listening to him and Bursich try to make this sound not absolutely atrocious. I can't take these. They have to be the easiest team. If you're the 7th seed coming in, who is scared to come to US Bank this year to play this bunch of losers after you watch what the Cowboys did and the Colts, who are a middling losing team, come in here with nothing to play for and kick 9 different kinds of dog crap out of them? And it's all up and down the team. We got make kicks. We got Cooks over the hill. Kendricks is like in a wheelchair rolling around after tight ends. What a bunch of losers. It's just sickening. And I can't deal with these guys. And then you got KOC, who everybody's so proud of. Such a culture change. Goes all out desperate. 4th and 1. Can't get it. Try same play at your own 30. You don't trust your running game and O-line. So then you do the stupid fake punt. That was the most desperate. If that was Mike Zimmer, right now people would be calling for him to be fired on those decisions. Let's be honest. Just because he's turned it into a 10-win lucky season doesn't mean those weren't ridiculously stupid decisions. Awful. We can't cover anybody. I would rather get beat with 80-yard touchdown passes than this dink and dunk, wide open, 20 yards, wide over the middle. Let's lose big. Exciting then. Fine. Let him throw it over the top. I can't. It's really hard, guys. And like I said, if I would have just chose, I should have chose to smoke when I was younger, do crack cocaine, because it would have been better for the health than watching this bunch of bums all the time and caring about them. I'm so sick and damn tired of them.
Chancey, amazing, dude. Amazing. Thank you for coming on Vikings Vent Line. One of the OG callers expressing what I think everyone is feeling today. God, we needed that. We did. I'm so glad Chancey and Fargo made his return to Vikings Vent Line today. And that fake punt, I'm all for a little trickeration, creativity here and stuff. At that point, that was such a weird, desperate, almost cowardly decision because, okay, you've decided in your head you're going to go for it. You're down by 3 touchdowns. The game is about to get out of hand. You don't trust your defense. You can punt the ball down there and pin them, but you don't trust your defense to stop even this fossilized version of Matt Ryan, right? And so instead of saying, well, so you're thinking about, well, we tried to run it on the last one, and we have a backup center, and Dalvin's not the same guy as he was. So I guess we can't run it here. And for whatever reason, they don't trust Kirk Cousins to do quarterback sneaks, really, because, he's just not that good at them. So they decide, well, rather than having maybe Kirk Cousins throw a pass, $35 million quarterback throw a pass, we're going to have Ryan Wright throw a pass to a 5th-round rookie draft pick. One option on that play. Just take a step back in the moment, Kevin O'Connell.
Yeah.
Take a deep breath. Rank your options in that situation. I get that he's thinking, God, if we line up for it and go for it again, boy, that's really going to be a problem. We're going to get booed. It's going to be bad. Like, dude, you're going to have a punter throw a pass to a 5th, 6th-round draft pick rookie. Covered, by the way. So it wasn't even, well schemed because he was covered. So I agree with Chancey on that front. Just one of those, as soon as he pulled the ball back to throw, I was like, no, this is only going to add to the problems. And thank God for Ed Donatell's bend but don't break defense, because I think they held the Colts to a field goal on that drive. Yeah. Excellent job.
Even the fullback sweep play, 2 plays before the failed 4th down conversion where they run Dalvin, he gets absolutely stuffed.
Wasn't that CJ Ham?
Yeah, it was CJ Ham. It was a fullback jet sweep. I'm all for jet sweeps, and because they are being utilized more. Nate Burleson was talking about that on the broadcast. But you're going to do a jet sweep to CJ Ham? Just at that point, do a fullback dive up the middle and I guess road grade your way. But we have enough, and I think I said this last week after the Lions lost, the hottest take to that KOC, it was on KOC, that he still has no idea what to do on short to go situations. He's hunting for this insanely cute, incredible play when it's pretty simple on what to do on the short to go situations. And he gets way too ahead of himself. He's trying to play calculus with himself and it doesn't work. It's been a flaw.
I got one other thing too, because again, I'm curious to see what Judd's pie chart of blame. It's his turn to cook the pie for tomorrow. I don't know that Ed Donatell would be the number one thing in today's game, because there's been so many offensive meltdowns, special teams meltdowns. The defense has been bad as usual, giving up 200 yards in the first half. But it feels like it's hard to pile it all on the defense because of all the things that have gone on. That being said, I don't know if you guys follow the Brett Coleman film breakdown YouTube channel. Once or twice a week, this guy just does amazing dissections, deep dive, calculus level film reviews about players, teams, good, bad. And he posted an 18-minute absolute takedown of the Vikings. He's drinking a cocktail and watching 18 with his Christmas lights in the background. He's a smart guy, but he kind of plays himself off if an idiot like me can sit here on YouTube and completely dissect your buffoon scheme and your idiot lack of communication. If you've got these guys just YouTubers that are dropping 20-minute videos, taking your defense apart piece by piece, as a 30-year coach, Ed Donatell in the NFL, what are you doing? And Kevin O'Connell, why have you let it get to this point where Matt Ryan looks like he hopped in a time machine and is slinging darts all over the field like the 2016 MVP version of himself? And so I don't want to get lost in just talking about defense here, because there's been so many other things that have gone haywire, namely the fact too that your offense at home has no points, and you've played, now they're into the third quarter of this game. You can't score at home. You had 7 points at the 2-minute mark of the third quarter last week against the worst defense in the NFL, until the Vikings took over that mantle after playing the Lions. So, but when YouTubers can sit there and put 20 minutes of what the hell are you doing checkmate film out into the universe, I think it's time for you to update your LinkedIn profile, Ed, starting tomorrow. Let's keep it rolling here on Vikings Vent Line on the Purple Daily YouTube channel. Please click subscribe and the like button as we go through this therapy session.
We got Kyle in his Jim Harbaugh jersey, his Jim Harbaugh Colts jersey.
You know who never would have let this BS happen today? Jim Harbaugh. I just want to throw that out there.
Who is that guy on Feedback Friday, the emailer with the very eloquent Jim Harbaugh email? That's me. I'm picking up where he left off here.
Yeah, I think he might have been right. Yeah,
no kidding, right? Okay, so a couple points here. It's very fitting that our Mr. Mankato, Nate Burleson, is on the game. This definitely belongs on Nickelodeon. Definitely should be on Nickelodeon game. Is this season the Saints playoff win where Kyle Rudolph scored the walk-off touchdown that basically made us bring back this core, that coaching staff? Like, I don't understand why we keep bringing back this core of players. Like, I don't understand how they're going to get better. Kendrick, Thielen, Smith, Cook, they're old, they're slow. I don't understand, like, where the future is with this core. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I mean, no, thanks for coming on, and your Jim Harbaugh love has me wondering what would have happened in December here if he was the head coach. I'm still in on Kevin O'Connell, but dude, like, this is ridiculous. I said on Twitter during the game decks, I think if there was a new Vikings logo, it would be Eric Kendricks and Jordan Hicks just chasing tight ends and running backs in coverage. Some of it's the scheme, but some of it's those guys are just running with cement tied to their ankles. So, yeah, I mean, like Harrison Smith had a nice play right off the bat on that first drive. I think it was the first drive. And he knifed in to blow up a run play to sort of prevent the Colts from going in for a touchdown on that drive. But, yeah, there's definitely going to be a reckoning with some of this this defensive roster here come February and come March with contracts and age and scheme and everything. I mean, it's kind of a back to the drawing board situation as far as I'm concerned once the season's over.
Well, and yeah, when you have the plotting linebackers like Jordan Hicks, and I like Eric Kendricks, but he's up there in age, and then you compound it with a rookie draft class and even last year's draft class that is making next to no immediate impact. I mean, this is what you get. Jordan Hicks has to play 95% of snaps. You have no rookies that are making impacts because of injuries or just ineffectiveness. So, yeah, was there always some flukiness to this 10-3 Vikings season in the moment? For sure there is. But also when you compound those issues, I understand why Jordan Hicks has to play because there's no one else literally behind him or even pushing him for his job. And then you get moments like this where Jordan Hicks and that defense gets absolutely exposed.
Yeah. Let's keep it rolling here. Keep this therapy session going here. Vikings
Trevor,
Line.
What's up, man?
All right, two things. I mean, I agree with you, Declan, that Jordan Hicks has been playing more snaps, but Brian Asamoah has been stepping in and trying to get some reps. But the biggest thing is Shannon Sullivan picks up the fumble when the ref blew that whistle dead when we were up down 23-0. That should have been a touchdown because I don't know if he was not stopped. He was still moving, Michael Pittman. Yeah. So there was some question marks, and some of these calls. I mean, Ed should be fired, but that's a whole nother story. That's a whole nother day. But I think KOC has some question marks on third down, but Kirk Cousins hasn't really shown today that he can step up and throw the ball.
Yeah, thank you for coming on Vikings Vent Line here. I actually want to go back to because I don't want to blame officiating for this by any means. This is just a straight up generational ass kicking at home. This is going to wind up probably being worse than the Cowboys game. I mean, we're not even halfway through the third quarter yet, so we'll see if the Vikings have some fight in them. But that was a brutal call on the Chandon Sullivan, and it just sort of added to the fury as a Vikings fan of watching the first half. I think you can compartmentalize and say that the reason why they're getting their asses kicked is not because of officiating, but my God, like when you're still trying to cling to hope that there is a game here and that you just need like a big momentum changing play. It's the second week in a row where an official in a key spot has blown the whistle early. If you aren't 100% sure, Justin Jefferson stepping out of bounds, he didn't last week. Oh, the runner was down by contact. Oh, wait a minute. No, he wasn't down by contact. We meant to say that the forward progress was stopped. He was still fighting. It was a one-on-one hand fight for yards. Stop blowing plays dead when you aren't 100% sure. That's why we have challenges. And so again, is it the reason they're getting smoked? No, but it was like they're on life support. They're trying to rip the oxygen mask off, and the official says, actually, well, let's just put that back on there. And then the Colts wind up. I think the Colts wound up. I can't remember what the hell happened after that, but like, stop blowing plays dead when you're not 100% sure. Just calm down.
Yeah, we've never been a podcast or shows, and in all things that we covered, Wild, Vikings, Wolves, Twins, that we get too upset about officiating. And I'm not a sports fan that likes to just say the officiating is costing you and they're working against you all the time. But that is just atrociously bad. Like, that is a horribly missed play by the referees. And that thing stinks, man. I get it. And then it only gives more ammo to the fans thinking that refs are always hosing them. But yeah, that's bad. Like, that is atrociously bad.
Yeah. And again, it's not the reason. We're not blaming officials. This is, the problems run way, way, way deeper than that. But it was just another thing to be pissed about in the first half here. Vikings Vent Line on the Purple Daily YouTube channel.
Let's go to Keenan next. Keenan, what's up, man?
What's up, guys?
Hey,
I'm not even sure like how to start this, to be honest with you. This is probably one of the worst games I've ever watched in my entire life. The play calling, especially on offense, was horrific today. I like the end around call, but not to CJ Ham. I can't even believe that was even a play call that they even have in there. Also the first 4th and 1 that we ran up the middle. Why are we running up the middle on that? And also, why are we snapping the ball with 4 seconds left in the play clock? Like, that should be like a timeout, consider what we should do there kind of situation, not just fly by the seat of our pants and hurry up. So that was a big issue. And then just Ed Ingram. I don't even know what to say about him anymore. It is just atrocious. He's such a train wreck.
How many times has he stepped on Kirk's foot to just immediately end a play this season? Is it 3?
I think 3.
At least 3.
Twice in one game, and then again here. By the way, Alex Boone on our Trenches episodes every week points out how often he overextends. Like, his instinct is to like jam his left leg out back. And number one, you can trip your quarterback doing that way, but it's a good way to get yourself out of position to get smoked by a defensive lineman too. So it's a thing that Boone's been pointing out for 3 months now.
And they also need to figure out something to help Justin Jefferson. He has been open. There was at least 3 or 4 plays that they threw like a short that he was wide open. At least like way past the marker, wide open. No one was even near him. They need to find someone else because Rager's not doing it. Because don't even get me started on the pick 6 with Rager. Rager doesn't even know what he's doing out there.
He doesn't.
And then Thielen is just non-existent. He like shows up for like 1 play a game, and then other than that, he's non-existent. And when he does, he runs backwards for like 6 yards to get going, just like Judd talks about all the time. They have to draft a wide receiver, and then the whole defense is going to look way different next year. There ain't going to be like almost no one that's on this roster is going to be here. It's going to be an absolute mess.
And there's a lot of contracts that you can get out from, like Kendricks, and Harrison's a little tougher, but you can definitely get out from the 2 inside linebackers. Keenan, great stuff, dude. Thanks for coming on here. This Vikings Vent Line therapy session. We got you guys covered, man.
We got our sports dad. Sports dad has made his way from US Bank Stadium.
We got him.
We got him.
Dude, this is you've been as a beat writer, as a radio host, now as a world-renowned YouTuber and podcaster. Have you ever left a Vikings game at halftime? And you're doing it now because you legally cannot do the show. Right. You can't do a live show from the stadium. So that's part of the reason.
I don't think I have. I think this is the worst performance I've ever seen by a Vikings team that I thought was good. You know, like, I mean, there have been some terrible teams, and so I guess the expectation is low. But this is the most embarrassing, terrible performance that I've seen by a team that 2 weeks ago I thought was damn good, and I didn't understand how Detroit was favored against them. And I mean, this is just a gong show. This thing from start to at first I thought, okay, it's the Broncos game, right? 2019 with Kirk, and the Colts will take a 20-point lead, and the Vikings will then have to come back. But as this thing has progressed, it is embarrassing. It is a debacle. Every side of the football is unprepared. I mean, the special teams starts the game terribly with a big kickoff return when the coach, who admits that he does the coin toss by field, decides he's going to put his defense on the field first despite the fact that we all probably would have said, hey, Kevin, you probably don't want to do that in this case. But then they give up a 49-yard kickoff return. And from there, blocked punt. I mean, now they scored a touchdown because it's going to be the KJ Osborne show. But
yeah, KJ Osborne's 63-yard reception setting him up. I think they just scored a touchdown. I turned the game off.
They did. It's 33-6 now.
They scored a touchdown.
They ain't getting no flag today. There ain't gonna be no flag today. But special teams terrible. Defense continues to just get gashed. Kirk is under constant pressure. The offense has looked bad. The play calling was not great when it still mattered. It doesn't now. This is just overall probably one of the most disappointed I've ever been, because there have been some coaching staffs where I'm like, okay, this game's an embarrassment and it's disappointing, but I'm not really shocked by the coaching staff. This one is just brutal. And you got to think, I mean, I'm sorry, and it's not all his fault today, but defensively, like if these are the tweaks, if this is what you're doing, you got to try something different. I know the players aren't great, but I'm not willing to accept that you just like status quo right now on Sunday doesn't work for me. You got to do something.
Yep. Yeah, and we kind of, one of the things we talked about is it would be so much more clean cut if it was just the Colts put up 33 points on the defense, and now you just make a clean move. But there's been so many other things that have also train wrecked this game that if you're Ed, you can say, I mean, how many short fields did you give my defense? You kept going for it from your own 30-yard line, but at the end of the day, I don't know how you can move forward with this same collection. Like you almost have to make a move just to show the team, like, hey, we're doing something.
Yes.
And even though they now officially these last 2 weeks have been exposed as frauds, if you will, they don't have to give the 10 wins back. They are still just one win or one Lions loss away from winning a division and getting a home playoff game. So now the only thing that matters now is, can you come up with something in the next few weeks that gives yourself a chance to do a little damage in the playoffs? Can you get organized to some degree over your last 3 regular season games and push forward as kind of an underdog in the playoffs? Like, because even though you're going to play a home playoff game, I think I'm not. I guess I wouldn't bet my entire life savings on
It'd
the
be
Vikings
hard not to
not losing out and the Lions winning their last 4. But
you would have to work. Even by today's standards, I think that you would have some work to do to actually get yourself bounced from a home playoff game.
Yeah. So, all right, before we get back to all of you guys, Vikings fans, Judd, I have a feeling I know what you're going to be drinking on this Saturday night.
Let me just say this right now. There is not enough Surly Furious Logic Bombs and Before I Die in my fridge to quench a thirst of having to watch a first half. I feel bad for my friends that are stuck there in that stadium having to watch 4 quarters of this crap. I left after 2, and I am parched. The good thing is when Sports Dad is parched, he knows exactly how to handle that, and that is with any number of the fine products from Surly Brewing. The last 2 weeks, the Vikings have let us all down. Surly Brewing, the great thing about them, they'll never let you down. They are the best team in town.
Yeah. I want to throw this out real quick, too, because, overall, the Vikings have had a largely fun season. And even though this has been a disaster game for the offense, overall, it's been fun to watch Kirk on the season complete 6 fourth-quarter comebacks or whatever it's been. We had a group of Cousins Crusaders, as we coin them on the show here, reach out to us and say, hey, can we bring everyone together here, whether you're a Cousins Crusader or a Cousins hater for a good cause? This group is the Crazy Canadian Cousins Crusaders, by the way. They said, let's all come together and donate to Kirk's charity at kirkcousins.org. And let's all come together this time of year for a good cause. And we said, that sounds good. So if you have it in your heart, even though you're probably livid at the Vikings today, if you could go to kirkcousins.org and throw $5 in the hat, $50, whatever you have in your heart, and make sure you tell them that the Cousins Crusaders of Purple Daily are the inspiration behind your generous heart. Maybe that can make us feel a little bit better here on this Saturday. All right, Dex, who's next on Vikings Vent Line? Purple Daily YouTube channel.
I think Phil will like this guy. We got Yacht Rock Guy now joining us on Vikings Vent
My
Line.
man.
What's up, Phil? How are you, brother?
You and I may need to go tip a couple back at a Michael McDonald concert again sometime soon.
Well, literally anything would be better than what we've just spent the afternoon doing. It'd be very easy to come on here and talk about little things, the jet sweep on third down, Ed Ingram stepping on feet, which seems impossible. But I want to take a bigger look at this. This is the 1,000th game the Vikings have played, right? As an organization, 1,000th game. What a perfect amalgam of this organization. For those of us who are old enough to have lived through 60 years of this is what they do. And what this is reminding me of is 2003. 7-0 start. They get all this hype. We're talking about it. And they just continue to whittle themselves out of the playoffs until the last play. So I could very well see at the end of the Chicago game, Justin Fields rips off a 70-yard touchdown run, and the Vikings are knocked out of the playoffs. And we just have to laugh about it, gentlemen. My question for Judd is this. I don't know how you cover this team from here on out, because you can't cover them like a 10-4 team. You're going to have to cover them like they're a 4-10 team almost, right? Like you can't expect them to win games. You can't expect them to have positives. So how do you approach this from here on out? I'll leave it at that, gentlemen, and we'll see you at the concert, my friend.
There he is. Yacht rock guy coming in hot from the late 70s, early 80s with some soft rock takes there. Love it.
Al Stewart.
Such a long way to go.
You're the Cat. You're the Cat is my absolute yacht rock favorite.
Pretty good.
The cat.
Pretty good.
Great song. Well, first of all, I don't think you have to cover them like a 4-10 team. I don't think that. I mean, today is awful, but they're not that bad. But I do think, yes, you can't cover them. I mean, you have to cover them with a cynicism built by the last two games, and probably more like a team that's won, I don't know, 8 games or something like that. Because they're still not. This is a train wreck. They are not a train wreck status team. But yes, it does feel. I guess I would quibble a little bit with his comment. As a longtime Viking follower, yes, 2003 is a fine comp, but today doesn't encapsulate this team, because today is a Cleveland Brown type of loss, right? Like today is the Vikings usually don't get embarrassed. They break your heart. So I'll quibble a little bit with, I don't think that this game encapsulates this franchise's history that well, but yes, I think more importantly than how people are going to cover this team, you guys, is a much more key question. Internally, how are they going to react as a front office staff, a coaching staff, and players? I think that's the question. Because, I mean, can you now tomorrow and Monday go back to the drawing board again? Oh, we're just going to go back to the drawing board. We're going to do this or that. Like, there's nothing you're putting on film today, aside from that Osborne catch probably, where you can be like, well, this worked out. Like, there were some good things on film. KOC finds himself in the midst of his first, and I can now, I think, accurately use this word, crisis. And so I think the question is this: how do you react? And look, I mean, I think you're going to have to make a drastic move, and the drastic move is Ed. I mean, you're not going to bench Kirk. Kirk has done nothing, I mean, he's not good today, but there's a ton of pressure. I don't think that you can bench a bunch of defensive players. You can make some changes, but I think you have. So I think the question is, what do you do? And I think it comes down to Ed. I really do.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be. The Colts kicked a field goal, by the way. It's 36-7 now. I think there's room to say that today's loss wasn't all on Ed, but Ed and the defense didn't exactly show a lot of difference or improvement. So I'm kind of with you, and I hate being pitchfork, fire. I don't like to be fire guy, but he is one of the worst defensive coordinators in Vikings history.
Yes.
He's not good at this either anymore, or maybe, I don't know, maybe he's never been great at this.
He wasn't good in Green Bay, dude.
Because he was bad in Green Bay. Anything under Fangio has to be taken with a giant block of salt, right? Because Fangio's the one running that thing.
Yes.
So, but at this point, when I told this to Declan before you jumped in here as you were speeding over from US Bank Stadium, there's a great 20-minute YouTube takedown from Brett Coleman, who does in-depth film reviews on his YouTube channel. When you have YouTubers drinking cocktails, explaining eloquently why your defense is an absolute, not train wreck because like the players are messing up. There's some of that. Train wreck in terms of how easy it is to decipher and how rigid it is, and why you have Zadarius Smith lined up on a slot receiver, in a game against Detroit, and just laughing at you and calling you an idiot. Dude, what, you've been a coach for 30 years.
Yep.
It's not October here. It's December. So anyhow, who's next on Vikings Vent Line?
All right, let's go to Remy from Boston.
Hey, what's up, guys? Can you hear me?
Hey, Remy, we got you. Yeah.
Cool. Well, yeah, appreciate you guys having me on. Long-time listener, first time calling in. Yeah, I guess, first things first, I do love the podcast, especially being from Boston where people are tough on the sports teams. I appreciate you guys kind of keeping it real with Kirk because it's, this year it's been better, but, I know it's kind of been underwhelming these past few years. But really, I think all my disappointment is with KOC today. I just felt like the team was totally unprepared. And like, you're going to get out coached by Jeff Saturday, man. Like, yeah. I'm sorry, but it was just, it's awful. And Declan, I think you hit it too. When you said like, he overthinks these situations when it's like short to go, like, I think, I'm not sure if it was last week, maybe against the Lions or maybe like the game before that, we had a couple like, situations where it was like, maybe like, second, third and short, we line up in shotgun. And it's like, I just feel like he overthinks these situations so much. And like the defense, the linebackers are another thing. I feel like the decline of Eric Kendricks has been drastic. I feel like just a couple years ago, this guy was one of the best middle linebackers in the game. And I see like the best defenses in the league. They all have like these speedy linebackers. I was hopeful about Asamoah, but it doesn't seem like he's really done much this year. But I don't really know if coaching is a strong point on defense either. It's kind of tough, but I'm not optimistic about this game. But I will say, if anybody does know how to blow a lead, it's probably Matt Ryan. But we'll see what happens.
You're still holding a little hope for today. I like it.
Not really. I just kind of want to bash Matt Ryan. So, but yeah, appreciate you guys having me on.
All right, thank you, man. Appreciate Remy in the Northeast there.
Off his point, I've got a play that was a consequential but small play early in this game as a fundamental problem with what they're doing with their personnel, and it's this one. So, Danielle Hunter, who I'm hearing more and more, we're right, not too pleased with his usage. And so Danielle Hunter rushes off the edge, okay, which is fine. That's cool. We've all been asking for that. He rushes off the edge. Ryan, who's not great now, but is very, very smart, throws a quick screen pass. And the problem is Danielle is now upfield. Now it's up to the linebackers to now, I believe it was a running back that Ryan threw to. It's up to the linebackers to contain and make the tackle, but they can't because they're too slow. Mm-hmm. So therein lies, and I'm not trying to defend Ed here, but therein lies the problem of the personnel not matching up. So I think why Hunter is probably not pressuring more, and if I'm him, I am pissed, but I think he's not pressuring more at times because of that fear. But then I think it was on the touchdown pass that the Colts have, if I'm not mistaken, Hunter dropped back into coverage, but it looked like he had no idea what he was supposed to do. No. So he was a non-factor. So, I mean, it's things like that are incredibly frustrating to watch because you're not marrying, forget marrying rush and coverage. Let's talk about taking your personnel and using it as best you possibly can.
Yeah.
And look, you know what? If Jordan Hicks can't run, then he just shouldn't play. Like, you have nothing invested. Kendricks, I get. I don't love it, but I get it. First of all, I don't think he's totally cooked. He definitely has declined.
He can still sniff it out in the run game a little bit.
And he's been here a long time, and I sort of get the angst there, right? What do you owe Jordan Hicks?
Nothing.
Zero. If he can't run.
But who, I think what we assume there is that there's someone waiting in the wings because we saw Brian Asamoah flash in 2 preseason games.
Yep.
But Brian Asamoah, if he was ready to come in and just be, a great starting linebacker, I think they would have made that change already.
Yes.
I don't know that they have any. I think they're really thin at that position. I think they're just kind of screwed.
They are indeed, but that's where, and I saw this, I think, once or twice, if I'm not mistaken today, that's where you got to go. Metellus replaces Hicks, Kendricks. So basically you go big dime. That's what I keep talking about. Metellus was graded. Don't forget against Detroit, Metellus graded out well. So what I'm saying is play 3 safeties. Yeah. It's untraditional and you might not like that, but my God, you've got to do something to contain this.
Hire Zolgad.
I would trust Judd at this point more than Ed Donatel. I would. Let's keep it rolling here on Vikings Vent Line. This is unprecedented. We started at halftime today because they were down 33-0. Who we got here?
We got Dennis. Dennis, what's up, man?
What's up, Dennis?
My guys, how are you guys?
Well, okay. We're angry. We're lashing out, and we're ready to drink the rest of the night.
Yeah, same here too, man. First time caller, long time listener. You're from Neuss, Germany. So what's up with the starting field position? The Vikings have been, like, a couple of weeks ago, the Vikings have been like in the top 5 of starting field position and opposing starting field position, and stuff is terrible right now. Like from the starting kickoff return, like they have a 50-yard return, and they have like started every single drive in the first 1.5 quarters or something in the Vikings half. The only drive they didn't was after Dalvin's fumble. Like, how does that happen?
Yeah, it's right away. And by the way, thanks for chiming in from Germany here. Good evening to you, and hopefully you enjoy what do you got? Is it a Vikings hat? What are you rocking?
That is a Vikings hat, yeah.
Yeah, that's nice. I like that look.
Das Boots for everyone tonight. Thank you for jumping on here. Dennis. Yeah, when you start the game and you allow them to just get to the 50 because of incompetent coverage, right? You kind of knew, maybe they're not awake yet. What's happening here?
Can we talk about the 4th and 1 call? Not the pass, but by Wright, which, by the way, was, I think, the exact same play that worked against the Saints, and Wright overshot the receiver this time. But let's talk about the 4th and 1 quickly, where Cook was stopped, okay? Because I understand that you're down by 17, if I'm not mistaken, at that point, and I get that there is much more tolerance and encouragement to go for it on 4th down now. But that being said, if this had been Fleck, we'd be all over that call. Fleck did this in a game at TCF Bank Stadium and got hammered for it. Because it was early. And again, just like deciding to kick off and deferring when your defense has been bad. I know you're down by 17, and I know it's a clear second guess, and I get all that, okay? But I think it's your own 30, and you don't get it, and now you're putting your defense back on the field. I mean, I think that's at least worth a discussion.
Yeah, I struggle with this because I think I would be more likely to go for it in that spot if I actually trusted my defense. Because I think sometimes people mix it up. Like,
oh yes, agreed.
If you trust your defense, you go for it in that situation. If you don't trust your defense, you should punt it so that a bad offense can convert a first down or two and stall out at midfield, maybe.
Correct.
So because I don't trust my defense, I'm punting in that spot, and I'm a big go for it, be aggressive guy.
I know.
So you kind of put the game was kind of in the balance on that first 4th down in some ways.
Mm-hmm.
Which but are you ready for that smoke? This better be your best play call here, right? And obviously it wasn't. It's also just hard when you have a backup center. If you're going to run the ball, if you're going to,
that's another, yeah. They've tried to run things like they've got their starting line,
yeah,
and they don't, and it's sort of weird. It's like, Kevin, you've got to adjust this a little bit because, going back to the Cook attempted pass that broke down completely. At some point in time, don't you have to say, okay, Bradbury might not be great, but he's playing pretty well. He's out. Ingram has gone back to train wreck status. I heard you guys when I joined talking about tripping Kirk. I think he's now tripped Kirk 3 times.
Yeah.
So it's like, at some point, I think you have to adjust for, there's going to be deficiencies here. So let's not attempt to highlight said deficiencies.
By the way, they just scored again.
Yeah.
36-14.
I'm watching it. This is such crap.
They now have a 14-3 third quarter advantage here. One of the big third quarter, I guess, deficits that they have forced on an opponent all year. So we'll see. Yeah, it's still third quarter.
That's
still
a good
third
point.
quarter.
I asked for it, didn't I?
Matt Ryan's
didn't I say?
lead.
You know what? I never said during this past week, I didn't say do something in the first, second, and fourth. All I asked for was a good third quarter, and I got it. So I'm very happy.
You got what you wanted. All right, let's keep it rolling here. Vikings Vent Line, Purple Daily YouTube channel.
Let's go to Koo from Iowa.
Hey guys, how you doing today?
Good.
What's
how are
going
you?
on, man?
You guys are the best. I listen to you guys every day, every Sunday, all the time. So I love all you guys. You guys are great.
Thank you, man.
I got to get me some of that Surly, though. I got to get some of that today. I need a bucket of it today. This is a train. I mean, I've listened to you guys all the time. My first time calling in. This is probably the softest team in the NFL right now. One of the softest teams in the NFL. Ed Donatel needs to be fired. If this was Zimmer, he would have been fired 2 weeks ago. I understand KLC doesn't want to do that, or he's not that type of guy. But you know what? falling into the playoffs is not having the same. You don't have no confidence going into the playoff. Nobody's scared of us. Nobody. Not one team is scared of us. I think when you lose 3 blowout games like this, 3 in 1 year. I mean, even the Houston Texans don't even get beat this bad, and they're one of the worst teams in the NFL.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, this is on everybody. I think they came out soft. The coaching staff needs to have instead of a players-only meeting, they need to have a coaches-only meeting and figure out what to do next, because falling into the playoffs and falling into a 2 seed or falling into a division title, it's not the same. You don't have the same kind of, happiness about it. When after the first blowout, you would think, okay, we need to fix things. After the Dallas Cowboy blowout at home, you would think this would never happen again, in your locker room. The defense doesn't stop anything. Run, pass, they can throw anytime they want to. When Kirk gets rattled, gets rattled. I know Justin Jefferson's our main target, and like people have said earlier, they need to draft another wide receiver. I love Adam Thielen. I like KJ Osborne, but somehow the schemes are not getting where they're not getting open, or Thielen, he's just at that age where he just can't break away no more from people. But just throwing to Justin Jefferson, being predictable. Cook, I love Cook, but I think they need to give Madison some more carries. Hawkinson needs to be involved more into the game, but this was just a train wreck today. I mean, I know you guys make it seem great as a Luthen. You guys are the best at making things just tweak and turn around really good and make you think, oh, well, they are right. But I just honestly think this is probably one of the softest teams in the NFL right now, and I don't know anything else they can do to change things at this time. I think they're going to be one and done in the playoffs, regardless of a home field advantage or not. And right now, I can see them, and I know it's 4 games left, but I can see them messing around and continue to keep losing, because this is a blueprint. The Colts have not done anything all year. You got a coach they picked up off this couch, came in, was a laughingstock when he got the job, everything else, and he comes into your home on a Saturday and blows you out. And I'm one of the guys, when he did the 49-yard return at the very beginning of the game, I knew it was over for us. I knew it was right then. I just had a feeling. I was like, well, game's over. Because you can tell at the beginning of games when somebody has momentum. And our defense it's like ridiculous. I can't wait to hear you guys tomorrow on Monday and hear you guys talk about this the rest of the week, because this is one of the most embarrassing losses the whole season. I mean, 3 blowout games at home. We're a joke. Like, commentators, anybody that says anything else about us the rest of the year are right.
Amazing rant. This is great. Cool. Thank you.
Yeah, get it off your chest. I loved it.
Great debut on Vikings Vent Line, and I don't disagree. Like, this team has a lot of finesse to it, and I think you could live with that. With offensively, you could kind of live with, they're a little bit. So it's an indoor team, a little bit finesse, 5 wide, spread them out. But when the defense is also finesse, playing off coverage, 90% zone, largely playing off coverage. They don't get pressure. It's like you can't have kind of a finesse indoor offense and a soft defense. And they kind of got away with it for a while there, and now the wheels are coming off. So let's keep it rolling here. We're 50 minutes into an unprecedented in-game Vikings vent line. Who's next?
All right, let's go to computer worker Adam and his nice Christmas setup here.
Oh, thanks.
Man. Christmas has exploded in Adam's house, apparently.
You probably got some Shirley there, too. That looks like
Oh, I do. I do. First of all, Declan, you do your steaks right, man.
Thank you, sir.
That baby red as heck, right off the cow. You guys stole a little bit of my thunder earlier, like with the 4th and 1, with the backup center, and we run right up the middle. Like, that's just, you got to know your personnel. And then we run a jet sweep with CJ Ham on a 3rd and short. It's like that was a little bit of bad taste in my mouth. I don't mind the fake punt, because who the hell would run a fake punt after giving it up in your own territory again? So I didn't hate it. They just execute it. But I don't know if in any other sport, there's more stubborn SOBs than coordinators in football. They always force their players into their schemes, not scheme around the players they have. I mean, Dontel always has said all year, well, the players were just in the wrong spot. Maybe they can't get to that spot. Hicks can't get to that spot. Kendrick can't get to that spot anymore. So adjust your scheme to their strengths. Both of those two have strengths.
you just need to adjust it. I love the idea of bringing the big safety in. I mean, adjust it that way, because that way you don't have. I mean, today Kendricks was burned on a third down, chasing down a wide receiver. Like, when has that ever worked? Unless you have a lot of pressure up the middle. Like Zim would do that during his double A gap. You might get a linebacker on a wide receiver, but it was 5 yards down the field, and the ball would have to be out immediately. So it's just, it was just like going back to Chile, kick-ass offense. No, it wasn't. You got to adjust your offense, and I think KOC is doing that, and he's getting a little too cute. But it's first year for him. I'm not going to hate on him for that, but I think, man, we find something you guys can look up. I think we've only given up one touchdown. What is the most points ever given up with the least amount of touchdowns?
One defensive touchdown allowed, because the other there was a pick six and a bunch of field goals, right? Or because the Colts have kicked like 5 field goals today, right?
One offensive touchdown. I'd like to know the most points ever scored with the least amount of offensive touchdown.
That is amazing, man.
That is. So thank you guys. Hope you guys have a great holiday, because I probably won't talk to you next week, because if I call in on Christmas Eve, I will need a good lawyer.
Well, you're welcome to ride the edge on Christmas Eve if you would like.
Live dangerous.
We know you're having a great Christmas already, just based on your festive.
Live dangerously, man. Slam Surly and call us, and let the chips fall where they may.
Yep.
So a few things off this. To his point, I thought the most telltale and disturbing thing of all the disturbing things that Donatel said at his press conference last week or this week was this one. Danielle Hunter is still adjusting. He's a veteran player. There were 4 games left at that time. And you're telling me now, at the start of the year, he said he will adjust. That's fine. But you're telling me with 4 games left, like he's talking about, it's going to click eventually. No. It's your job by this point to have them put in positions to succeed.
Yeah, he was perfectly fine and not broken, aside from injury, before you came along with your scheme. So
the other thing I'd like to just rant briefly about is we're about to start the 4th quarter. It's 36-14, right? Okay.
I'm just holding up. That's 4th quarter.
Yeah, 4th quarter, right?
Well, that's 4th down. You're holding up 4th down. I'm holding up 4th quarter.
All right. Here's my rant. Danielle Hunter and Zadarius Smith are still playing right now. Harrison Smith is still playing.
Well, the Vikings are driving. The Vikings are driving.
Right? What the last defensive series, those guys were on the field. What are we doing here? Get them on the sideline.
They're driving. They're looking to cut this to a 2-touchdown game, hopefully, within and once they do complete this historic comeback, we will flip to a different edition of Vikings Vent Line.
I was going to say with
a different headline than we have on the current one.
Get them off the field. Get them rest these guys. Allow them. I mean, Danielle Hunter, it was on the injury report with a neck. Zadarius Smith clearly has a knee that's been a problem. I'm sorry, this game is done. Rest your defensive players.
Okay. If they score and they cut this thing to let's say they score here in the next 2 minutes of game time.
Okay.
And it's a 2-touchdown game with 13 minutes to go. Are you giving him any chance, Judd? Any chance at all? Matt Ryan cooked?
You know what? No, I'm not. And here's why.
I just throw it out there.
I'm sitting them. And you know what I'd say? You guys, nobody on this, no starter on this team truly deserves to stay in. This whole game has been such a debacle, and I love this. I love these late comebacks. You were down by 33 rip at halftime. I can't get past this one.
No, it's a train wreck. All right, let's keep it rolling here on Vikings Vent Line, Purple Daily YouTube. Judd's like just talking to himself.
Here comes Kurt. Oh, I looked up at the plate of Jefferson just now.
What's up, guys? How you doing?
What's going on, man?
This game makes me want Mike Zimmer back, honestly.
Wow.
Are we sure KOC's a good coach? Or is he just getting lucky? This is the same stuff that happened last year, only it went in the opposite direction. This year, he's getting some breaks. I don't think he's a good coach, to be honest. He needs to get rid of Donatel. This defense is like just the middle of the field is wide open. Every play, every game, it's just disgusting to watch. My man Kirk is trying to do like the Broncos game a couple years ago and bring us back, but I don't think he's a good play caller. I don't think he has a fire. Like, there's no fire in this team. Like, that first after the interview after the first quarter, he's just like, "Yeah, we got to get it together." Like, light a fire, like yell at somebody. Like what do we got to do to, like, nobody has any passion out there. They don't look like they want to play. Judd, I know you don't like Duke Shelley, but he's the only one that looks like he wants to play out there. That's it. Duke Shelley and Harrison Smith are the only two that looks like they want to play. Not even Cook, not like Thielen, like Kirk. There's other players besides Justin Jefferson, man. Like, you can throw the ball to Adam Thielen. Yeah, he's not the greatest that he was, but man, he's just trying to force it into JJ, especially that first half, man. TJ Hawkinson forgot how to run. He's just tripping over himself on a third down. That
was weird.
You're like, what? Like, come on. But hey,
Oh, they just scored another touchdown.
Hey, yo, this is going to be Broncos 2020 all over again. But guys, you're the best. I'm here in Delaware. If they lose, man, I need a case of Surly out here to black out after this game. But hey, man, we can't find it out here, but I'm going to need the blackout. But hey, guys, yo, Skull, we need this Vikings dub to come back, and appreciate all the content, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you, man. Appreciate you coming on here. All right, as we wait, so it looks like they went for the extra point. So they're not chasing points yet. They're down 36-21.
Yep.
With just under 13 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Okay.
Yep.
So we'll see. We'll monitor. We're going to continue to treat this like the train wreck that it is, while monitoring what's happening here as the Vikings are putting more touchdowns on the board. A shout out to our friends, by the way, at Park Tavern, the official sports bar of the sports dad himself, Judd Zulgad. If you guys have ideas for group gatherings, holiday gatherings, fantasy football, Park Tavern is the place for group gatherings.
Also open 365 days a year, which means a week from today, Christmas Eve. You know, most places close, right? Park Tavern doesn't. Huge bar and bowling as well. So to Phil's point, a group there. Christmas Day, New Year's Eve, New Year's Day. You get the idea. Park Tavern is there for you. And don't forget, too, that while this card says Black Friday special offer for Score North listeners and Ventline, if you buy a $100 gift card, you still get a $50 bonus gift card. Now, it's $25 unless you go in and say, I want the Black Friday special offer, and I heard about you on Score North. And then you get a $50 bonus gift card. Park Tavern, parktavern.net to book your group, or 952-929-6810. Stop in and see our friends Cheryl and Phil. They will be happy to help you out and make your life as easy as possible. Parktavern.net. I'll see you there, and I'll be sipping on a Surly.
All right. This is either going to be the most amazing garbage time racking up of meaningless statistics in Vikings history, or the most ridiculous comeback ever. To this point, I think we still treat this like the train wreck that it is. We're an hour in. Who's next on Vikings Ventline here, Purple Daily YouTube channel?
Let's go to Jacob in South Dakota. Jacob, what's up?
Gentlemen, can you hear me?
We got you, Jacob. Yeah.
Perfect.
All right, awesome. I guess kind of the first thing I want to say, I wrote some stuff down because, you know, this team makes me want to drink and write horrible things. I mean, people are mad right now, this team. And I mean, if Kirk even gets hurt, and then I get people, Kirk Cousins has played bad today. If he gets hurt, this team is just done. And this team, it looks done, but they're like done. Because I like Nick Mullins as a backup, but yeah. Okay, first thing, whatever. And the last time the Colts played the Vikings at US Bank was 2016, that absolute debacle of a game where Adrian Peterson was coming back and this team was going to win. They lost 34-6 or something. Is this a worse game than was this game worse today than the one in 2016 or not?
I mean, I think considering, so the 2016, it's kind of similar because the 2016 team, right, was the one that started 5-0.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and they were trying to hang on at the end of the season. Well, this team started, 10-2.
Wait, sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I'm watching the game. Did they get a turnover?
I actually have the game off right now. So if this thing gets no,
okay, they didn't. Never mind.
No,
okay, I'm like,
still down by 2
everyone's getting hyped. So
if they cut it to one touchdown, I will be flipping the game back on. Otherwise, I'm going to watch the second half later.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you guys. Yeah, no, that 2016 team was so good at the beginning of the year, and they just fell off horribly. But and also people talk about that Dalvin up the gut play on 4th and 1, but people don't forget they threw the fake punt on 4th and 1 where they threw with Ryan Wright. Listen, I love Ryan Wright. I think he should be an All-Pro consideration this year. Maybe I'm just a biased Vikings fan, but like I don't know why you're throwing it just 4th and 1. Just go for it. Like that's what my dad and I were talking about. Just go for it.
Yeah.
Don't get cute, just go for it. You're down 20 points. And also the Colts had a negative 14-point turnover differential today. First half, they were +2. It's just that's the Vikings for you, man. I'm sorry that I'm getting kind of ranty, but this is Vikings therapy session, so I gotta roll with it.
It's all good, Jacob.
Off your chest.
And also another thing is the Vikings should be lucky that the Lions, if Dan Campbell, his bad decision making at the beginning of the year, because the Lions should be 8-5, 9-4, with and a lot of this team will. I mean, the Vikings will still probably win the division. I mean, they don't deserve to win the division how they played the last couple of weeks, but they should be lucky that they'll be likely hosting a game at US Bank. But just if this playoff started today, who do you guys think they'd be favored against out of all the playoff contenders?
Ooh, favorite?
New York, maybe.
This is
maybe
a good.
The Giants.
We'll find out when they set the line for this Giants Vikings game. I mean, that'll be kind of an idea of would they be favored over the Giants? If the Seahawks sneak
Who's
in,
the potential matchup right now? It was Washington at one point.
I believe they would play the Giants.
Well, it depends on where you have them,
ended
because if they lose this game, and I say if because it's only a 2-touchdown game now instead of a 20-touchdown game, so
but
they would be. If they lose this game, they would be the 3 seed, meaning they would play the 6 seed right now, Washington Commanders. If they win, they would play the Giants as of right now before tomorrow's games are played.
Yeah, that defense. I mean, Dable, in my opinion, I would vote for him for Coach of the Year because that roster is not good and they're in a playoff spot right now. But I don't know. I mean, and maybe here's some hope for all of you guys. I mean, Kevin O'Connell's a first-year coach and he's won 10 games. That's extremely impressive. I mean, I would say I'm more optimistic fan. I thought this team would be a wild card team because I thought the Packers were going to be winning the division, and Green Bay's fell on off. I guess that's a highlight of this year too. But it's been a rough couple weeks, and I think everyone is at fault for this game. Not just Kirk Cousins, not just Ed Donatell, not Kevin O'Connell. It's an entire team disaster class straight up. And I guess I have one more question for you guys, and then I will stop ranting belligerently. If the Vikings, I'm not saying they're going to blow this division. If they somehow blow this division, is this worse than the collapse in 2003? Because I was 2 years old in 2003, so I don't remember anything from that season. All I remember is the infamous PA call where he's against rookie Josh McCown.
Yes.
Jacob, thank you for coming on here. Judd, what do you think? And I just want to update here. The Colts just punted, so the Vikings now have the ball back. There's under 11 minutes to go. They're down by 15
Rager's breaking loose, but there's a flag down.
Okay. So real quick, again, we're monitoring. But we're still treating this like a disaster because that's what it is right now. If they were, to Jacob's question, if they were to somehow lose out or something and not win, I mean that would be 100 times worse than the 2003 team. The 2003 team was they started 6-0, I believe, and they sort of melted down from there.
Yep.
But to be 10-2 and then melt down from that point, I don't think they're losing out though. I will make that clear. So.
No, but that would be worse, or this would be worse because this team not only started out better, but I mean, the 2003 Vikings were in that Ticey era of, I mean, they weren't this well run. The fact that you could, if you were to lose out, this would be one of the greatest collapses by what is considered a organization that we think has its act together.
Yeah.
The early 2000 Vikings didn't always have, I think it's fair to say, their act together. So yes, that would be worse. The difference in the 2016 game though is the team was pissed at Zim. And I recall, Phil, on our old show, we argued about it because my case was, I think that team quit that day. I don't think this team has quit. In fact, they're showing it right now. I don't think that they were prepared. And I think it's an indictment that they've come back and look great after being just embarrassing. But there's been no game this year where I thought that it was an O'Connell, screw him. Zero.
No, I don't
Zim
think
guys
there's...
would get mad. Zim guys were, when Zim went up to the podium in Philadelphia after the first loss of 16 and called his team soft, that was different.
Yep. I agree. No, it kind of feels like, first of all, only the most optimistic Vikings fans thought they were going to win 12, 13, or 14 games before the season started.
Yes.
And then they started racking up wins, and it was oh, wow, a little Kevin O'Connell magic here. Okay, maybe this thing is headed toward 12, 13, 14 wins because they keep winning these close games and getting, pulling out fourth quarter comebacks and stuff. the truth is this was probably always an 8, 9, or 10 win team that got a boost from some coin flips going the right way in the first half of the season.
Yep.
I don't know that anyone thought the defense was going to be one of the top defenses in the NFL, and I think that's been their downfall in most of these big blowouts. We will keep you posted on if they actually start to make real noise here. If they score again, then the tone of this show, I think, changes. But for now, let's continue the therapy session. Declan, who's next on Vikings Vent Line, Purple Daily YouTube channel?
Let's go to Hogarth, a real-life Viking here.
What's up, man?
Good afternoon, gentlemen, and the real star of the show, the pup Bella.
Love
I
it,
don't know if you
love
can
it.
see her or not, but yeah, she likes Ritz.
Oh, there you can see.
Oh,
and
so do I actually.
Like you guys were just saying, you got to go back to the beginning of the year. Nobody thought this team was a contender. Nobody thought this team was going to be scorching their way into the playoffs into a 2 seed. You got to dial that back a little bit. And I'm not known as an optimist, so this whole rant is probably going to be a little weird for anybody that knows me. This is one of those games, even if it ends up a complete train wreck, even if they don't score again and you score, whatever happens, this isn't one of those, okay, we did everything right. What are some tweaks? This is a big picture game.
Yeah.
The defense is aging. They're slowing down. Is this a reason why they're running the same defense all the time? They run press 10% of the time. I think I read they run press coverage 10% of the time. Is that because they're going to get smoked if they do?
As opposed to,
as opposed to cracking down on everyone. No, no. I'm just curious why they haven't changed that defensive scheme at all. And it reeks of something else going on. Not personnel maybe, but not.
I think part of it, Hogarth, is I think it's obvious that the coaching staff, or at least Ed Donatel, doesn't trust his cornerbacks to play up close, or he thinks they're going to get torched. But it's not working the other way around. So.
But he sold. But here's the problem: is Ed sold O'Connell. O'Connell loves or loved this system because it gave McVay and him trouble, and he loved Fangio because the Broncos especially had what was considered the blueprint, right? So keep in mind, as much as coaches know about the sport, right? They know primarily about their side. So their side of the football. So when the Fangio system shut teams down, O'Connell thought, oh my God, I'm going to bring in a guy just like that. And the reality was, Donatel was the butler for Fangio, and he knew the basics of the defense, but he sold O'Connell on this. And that's the issue. So O'Connell, I don't think O'Connell, unless you actually sat him down in the spring and summer and gave him film, I don't think O'Connell has the ability to go and say, screw it, I'm going to make my own adjustments to the Fangio scheme, right?
Yeah.
Offensively, he can. And I think that's where the problem lies. But yes, they play a ton of zone, and they arguably have some guys that should play man, and you can't just flip that switch. The problem is we're now in week 14 here, 15? So at some point in time, you had to adjust, and they didn't even start until basically Detroit.
Yeah, and and I mentioned this 3 times already. There's a great video that was posted on Brett Coleman's YouTube channel this morning, and one of the things, it's a 20-minute takedown of Ed Donatel's scheme and the Vikings defense being laughably bad this season.
Excuse me, Kirk just threw a pick, so.
Okay, that was after Justin Jefferson. Yeah, so Kirk hunted down the field, intercepted inside the 5-yard line. That was after Justin Jefferson got blown up by Stephon Gilmore for a catch and then a 15-yard penalty tacked on. But yeah, that might be it. So now the Colts take over with 8 minutes to go, still up by 15 over the Vikings. But and by the way, Hogarth, thank you for coming on. We're gonna say goodbye, but continue to answer your question here. We love when Hogarth comes on, a real life Viking. Hogarth, that the Vikings have largely big cornerbacks who are 6 feet, 6'1". I think Chandon Sullivan might be the only regular cornerback that's under 6 feet. Yep. And for guys that are that big, especially, you have to be so freakishly athletic to play off coverage as often as they do. All right, you're gonna play off coverage without the weapon of being able to manipulate a receiver off the line of scrimmage. You play press to throw them off their route, or at least make it harder and take longer to get to where they're trying to go. And so you're asking guys who are tall and not premier, like top 10 draft pick caliber athletes, right? Patrick Peterson's 30-something. And you're asking these non-elite level athletes to play off coverage in space against receivers that run 4.3, 4.4 40s.
Yep.
And again, I'm just like soaking some of this in from people that are smarter than me who are doing amazing takedowns on YouTube, Brett Coleman. But how, as a 30-year NFL coach, do you not see that, know that, and adjust? It doesn't make any sense.
Because you're stubborn, because you're convinced that your system works despite the fact it doesn't fit the people that you have playing said system.
Yeah.
I would also
it was Jalen Rager that apparently
and
stopped running his route. That's why he's not being used more often.
I would like
he's not good.
Yeah, I would like to self-report my call for Jalen to play more. I've seen.
I tried to tell you, man.
Today now, yeah, he's not. But here is the interesting thing that we have seen take place. And you were right, okay? But we have seen something interesting take place. You were right. You were 100% right. Jalen has been terrible. But here's the thing we've seen today. And I don't know if I've seen him much or not, but Thielen I don't see a lot. And KJ Osborne is playing a ton. And KJ Osborne is having a great game. Next game, KJ Osborne needs to be this team's number 2 receiver. I think it's reps, and I think it's. Yeah. I mean, he gives you the potential for yak. But yes, on Jalen, you were right. I'm self-reporting. I was wrong. KOC and I talked about it, hush hush, very privately. We agreed that 5 should play more, and now we both have egg on our face.
I'm going to bring you guys a crazy stat real quick here. Now, I'm updating this from Purple Day last week. Since the beginning of his career, quarterbacks targeting Jalen Rager on 20-yard passes or more are 5 for 28 with 0 touchdowns, 5. I'm sorry. God dang it. I butchered the tweet. 0 touchdowns, 5 interceptions.
0 touchdowns, 5 touchdowns.
It's so
Trying to take a victory lap, didn't you?
Bad. I just butchered the tweet. Who's next on Vikings MetLife?
Let's go to Voshan from Georgia. Voshan, what's up, dude?
What's up, guys? Long time listener, first time calling in. I want to talk about that video that Phil keeps talking about. That video with forgot the guy's name. The YouTube
Brett
channel.
Coleman?
Yeah, literally right before the game. We have a Vikings group chat that I'm in. Somebody sent that video in the group chat, and I just wanted to watch the video just to see like how bad the defense is. And there's this one play with Tony Pollard. He swings out the backfield, and I think nobody picks him up. Like, I think they're supposed to make an adjustment, like a push call. Like, that's like high school, college, like Pee type football, like knowledge, just to like make a push call in that situation. So it's just funny. Like, there's certain situations, like there's bad communication in the secondary. Like, I played DB, Winona State D2. Like there's like really like when you just look at that video, there's so many plays, there's so many bad miscommunication in the secondary. I don't know if it's the scheme is difficult or what. But they just like to just play this prevent shell coverage defense where they don't play a lot of man. So a lot of it is based on communication. I just think the secondary is not communicating at all.
Yeah, dude, thank you for coming on here. The one play that he's referencing it's the Cowboys. It was one, I think Pollard had a couple big plays in that game, but there was like a 30-yard kind of swing pass to Pollard where he scores a touchdown. And the all-22 footage shows the Cowboys had 3 receivers. They had trips right, and then Pollard lined up strong side to the right. So they had 4 skill position weapons to the right of the quarterback. And the Vikings didn't match the numbers on that side of the line of scrimmage. And so Pollard just ran free with no one covering him. Literally like a basic high school level check that you would make on defense with veteran-ass players out there. Kendricks, Hicks. It's a Kendricks Hicks check. Why is no one making that check? Stuff like that's been happening all season with this defense. Justin Jefferson is alive after taking a helmet-to-helmet hit. He's jogging back on the field. Vikings still down by 2 touchdowns. This game is still a debacle, but they do have the ball back. So should we keep it going here, Declan?
Yeah, let's keep it going. We still got some guests in queue. Let's go to Luke. Nice. Luke, what's up?
Luke. Hey, guys.
Dude, Luke showing the guns. Luke
with the Wolves jersey. Is that an ant or
it's Rubio?
Rubio. Yeah, it's a old school jersey.
Nice.
Yep. Well, I was feeling a little bit differently about this game about an hour ago. Now I'm feeling a little bit better about it, but since it's showing just
Dude,
a
this
small
is
amount of
garbage
fight,
time. This is unless they score all of the points to tie it. This is all
yeah.
garbage time
Well, yeah,
fraudulence.
and the thing is, it's not like they're playing a good team. The Colts came into this game 4-8-1. And not only that, but they really played like a 1 or 2 win team this season. Like seriously, like I think you guys were saying that they scored like 66 points all season long or something. I heard you guys saying on one of the podcasts earlier this week.
Yeah, that could
Like
be. I don't know. I blacked out during one of the podcasts. I don't remember for sure, but yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's just like I don't understand, and it's not just the defense. There's a lot of other things that happen in this game, the special teams blunders and just miscues, and I mean, we just saw it on that last drive too. I don't know what the offense is doing at certain points. I don't know what the defense is doing at certain points. And as far as a special team goes, it's like, how do you make that many mistakes? Like the punting and it's a matter of preparation. And, Ed Donatell definitely has something to do with where this team is at right now. But KOC, I mean, where's the preparation, dude? I know you're a first-year head coach, but, I mean, my God.
Vikings are about to be at the
Yeah.
1 yard line here.
Yep.
They have driven downfield, and KJ Osborne just got interfered with in the end zone.
There's 6:08. Vikings, like Judd said, down by 15. Now have the ball at the 1 yard line, about to go in.
It just shouldn't be pulling teeth like this, though. To win a game like this,
Let me ask you this, though. If they came back for everyone here, all right, if they won this game, how would you feel about the 3-hour experience that you just went through?
It's inexcusable. It's in bleep inexcusable then. Like he's right. The Colts aren't a good team. It's not like you're getting. It's not.
But
like
it
the
would
Cowboys
be
game.
another crazy. Like it would be the biggest fourth. It'd be the biggest comeback win period in NFL history if it happened.
Well, and I think part of the problem is like who they're playing, and this wouldn't happen in the playoffs most likely against a good team.
No.
So, like whether that's Washington or the Giants or whoever, Seattle, whoever they play.
How
in
were
the
you
wild
not more
card.
prepared, though? How were you not more? I mean, that first half
Yeah.
was an abomination. It was ridiculous. It was embarrassing. It was everything and across the board. It's everybody.
I mean,
yeah.
I've watched the Wolves for since the 11-12 season, and I mean they play 82 games, so you kind of forget about some of the horrible games that they've had, I guess, throughout the years. But like, I guess football it sticks out more, but. Like, I don't remember such a horrible performance to start out a game from the Timberwolves.
They just scored a touchdown.
Oh,
Adam Thielen just scored a touchdown. Oh, man. Adam Thielen just caught his first pass like 2 minutes ago of the game, and then he just scored a touchdown. And I believe they're going to go for an extra point here to be down by 8. So he is coming on to kick the extra point here. By the way, that Rubio jersey, I love. That's a top 3 jersey that I've seen in the last couple weeks. Just a random. Thank you for coming on, man. Appreciate it. It's funny. I just saw Ricky Rubio send a tweet out here too. A lot of Ricky Rubio mentions here. So it is a 1-score game. The Vikings are down 36-28.
Mm-hmm.
They were down 33-0 in this game at one point. 5 minutes, 30 seconds remain. Vikings have all 3 timeouts. They have outscored the Colts 28-3 in the second half.
How ironic. How great is that?
Right?
28-3, the very score of the Matt Ryan Falcon Patriots Super Bowl.
All right, so I kind of feel like we're in like we've been, we're like an hour, 20 minutes into this thing. It started off as just an epic. By the way, Chancey and Fargo started the show off, just absolutely tore this team in half for like 5 minutes. It was an amazing rant.
They deserve it.
I feel like we're kind of in transition mode here. That this is all still garbage time fraudulence, unless they actually complete the comeback. It's not going to make me feel that much different if they don't actually come back and win the game. But how do you sort of feel as we watch this play out right now?
I feel like it's a huge indictment of the first half. I feel like how did you come out? How did you give up 30 first half points to the Colts? The Cowboys game was embarrassing, but the Cowboys are pretty damn good, right? You came out unprepared. Special teams looked awful from the get-go. Defense looked terrible. Offense struggled. So, yeah, I mean, it's fun to watch, I guess, but it's also maddening because this is the type of game where you should have led by 30 to rip at half and then piled on some more in the second half. So I mean, this doesn't make me happy because this is not championship football. This is not what you want. This is I mean, if you come back and win, the Colts aren't good. It's a bit of a fluke.
Okay.
But how do you
Judd,
give them credit for this?
I agree with everything. This is where I'm conflicted because, like, this has been an embarrassing performance.
Yes.
And so the only leeway I will give you is if you lose this game 36-28, or hell, if you score a touchdown to make it 36-34 and miss the 2-point conversion, I will still consider this a garbage performance by the Minnesota Vikings. But if you win this game, I will say that first half was garbage for all the reasons we've talked about, but I will celebrate the greatest comeback in NFL history. Frank Reich against the Oilers would move aside if the Vikings were to win this game. So I think you would have, like, I'm saying if they win the game, are you really going to sit here and just like bitch about it, or what? Or is that what you're saying? Yeah, I'm going to bitch
about the first half. Yeah, yes, I'm going to bitch about the first half.
I just want to be clear.
And here's the other thing to be very clear: the last 2 weeks have clearly shown, because we sat here and argued against it and defended the team. And look, they had a really good record at the time. But the other thing is, Vegas was right.
Our buddy
Vegas
Dave
was right.
Our buddy Dave Campbell here with a great tweet that the Vikings would still get their T-shirts and hats if this ends in a tie.
Oh, that's good to know. That's good to know.
Still a T-shirt and hat.
Celebrate that.
Good God. Yes, I'll complain.
All right, should we get to someone else here?
Yeah, we got
Vikings Vent Line, Purple Daily YouTube channel.
Let's go to Nate next. Nate, what's up, man? You're just you're muted on your end. You just got to unmute yourself. There you go.
There we go.
I've been waiting a while, man. I didn't think I was ever gonna make it on. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, how do you feel now versus like an hour ago?
I feel exactly the same way.
Okay.
I mean,
I don't understand. I feel like
my watch is going off. Let me go ahead and turn this off.
I agree with her.
Nate's ranting. His watch is
I
ranting.
agree.
The technology's pissed at the Vikings.
As the game
heads are
goes
falling
on,
off.
I'm literally crossing off stuff on my list. I'm like, that doesn't matter. Play action on third, that doesn't really matter. This doesn't really matter anymore when it comes to this game. All about the score. But anyways, Cook, he needs to run downhill. I'm gonna just go down my list because I can't jump all over. Cook, he needs to run downhill. He's not a one cut back anymore. He's trying to, when he just needs to take one direction, run downhill. He tries to chop, and cut back. No. We could have had a way better defensive line. We let Joseph go to the Eagles. Like, when are you gonna sign somebody? The defense, that's obvious. We already know the issues with the defense. This game literally means nothing to me. Like, this is just a accumulation of like you guys say, the luck that we've had so far. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. Nate, we had to interrupt you for just a second because I think the officials may have just screwed the Vikings out of a touchdown here.
They did.
Again, they blew another play dead.
So the Colts, oh my God. So this is an obvious fumble. Chandon Sullivan picks it up, runs it into the end zone. The officials blew the play dead. Is there any way at the very least the Vikings could get the ball back at the 40? This is the second time today the officials have blown a play dead that would have been a scoop and score, right, for the Vikings.
And watch them call a 15-yard penalty on him to give us even worse field position.
Because he took his helmet off.
Yeah.
Is that what the flag is?
It looks like it.
He's going crazy.
Coaches are screaming.
This is insane, man. This is insane.
Unsportsmanlike conduct. Yep.
Yeah,
amazing.
Helmet off. Yeah.
Nate, thanks for jumping on, Nate, dude. Appreciate it.
How do you blow that dead?
Well, what are they doing? This is the second time. And by the way, the Jefferson touchdown from last week, too. Stop blowing plays dead.
Yeah.
You don't know what you're looking at. There's a mass of bodies. Just let the freaking play out. How many times does this happen? It happens in baseball, too, where the home plate umpire thinks he has an angle on a check swing. Dude, take a deep breath. Let the ball bounce around.
That's 14 points today.
Pick it up. And by the way, if it turns out to be a scoring play, it gets reviewed anyways. So just let it play out.
So Judd, it says plays under review on NFL GSI. Are they reviewing the play right now?
I have the sound down. I can't tell what's going on.
But then, by the way, Chandon Sullivan, dude, okay, can you not be a toddler? Why are you throwing your helmet on the field?
Because it's
dude, grow up. These idiots all over the place on this field today. This is incredible.
But is this going to be Vikings? Yeah, it's Vikings. So the Vikings got.
It's likely going to be Vikings football.
It's Vikings football.
But they don't get the touchdown. So
Correct.
the Vikings have the football, I believe, around the 40-yard line here.
Yep.
That's around midfield.
46. Yep.
And they're down by 8 points so they literally have a chance to drive down and tie this thing up. Unbelievable, you guys. Well, let's bring somebody else in here on Vikings Vent Line. This has now turned into just like a sweat here, a Viking sweat on Vikings Vent Line.
Let's go to California.
Whoa, I made it. How's it going, everybody?
What's going on, dude?
All right, so first things first, actually, yeah, we'll just go with how I started the day. Went to the gym, right? And I'm in the gym. I got my jersey on because it was cold, so I needed like some layers. And then this guy's just like, yo, I like your jersey, man. And I'm like, first response was like, yo, really? Thanks. Much respect. Because like to wear one of these, you can't be a bandwagon at all. And he's just laughing. He's like, yeah, that's why I said like much respect. And then I come home, I guess, or actually I told the guy, I was like, yeah, it's fortunate that we're having such a good season right now. And whoa, that must have been a bad choice of words because the way this game started, I was looking at my dad. We was watching the game, and that 50-yard kick return, and then they just drive down the field, and then the block punt, and then next thing you know, it's like 21-0, and then we're just looking at each other like, well, yeah, this is a Vikings game. This is what we do, I guess. So whether they win or lose, that's in question, obviously. So I'm going to just go with they're going to get it close and they lose. And that's what I'm going with until I see otherwise. So in that case, so I'm going to do like worst case scenario, best case scenario, right? So like, let's say they lose, get the game close and lose. It's already close. I think they miss the playoffs if they lose. And in that case, I think you just scrap it. I think you scrap the defense, get rid of Donatel. I wasn't a fan of firing Donatel because they installed the 3-4, and I was thinking like, okay, well, the 3-4 has been proven around the league in terms of teams making deep playoff pushes, stopping the run. That's the main thing you want to do, and that's a good defense to stop the run, right? And I'm thinking like, okay, the Chiefs, I think the 49ers ran a 3-4. I think the Packers ran a 3-4, and they made good runs with that format. And I'm thinking, all right, that should be a good format, right? And no, like,
yeah, you can. By the way, we're thanks for coming on here, California. We appreciate it, but we have to lock in here. And you can win. You can, like he was saying, you can win with 3-4 defenses, but it's about making adjustments and leaning into your personnel. There's 3 minutes left in this game. Vikings, I'm sure a lot of you guys are just watching this, and I think, Judd, your TV might be ahead of ours.
Yeah.
But the Vikings have the ball. They are driving. They're down by 8 points, and they're trying to put the ball in the end zone and then go for a 2-point conversion. And so what are you thinking here, Judd? What are your thoughts? What are your feelings? You've gone from leaving the game, rightfully so, at halftime to do this show with us because you can't do this show from a live football game. It's against NFL rules.
I'd get us in trouble.
Yep.
Probably get our credentials revoked. That wouldn't be a good thing. I'm thinking this is one of the craziest things I've seen. It doesn't get. I'm still pissed off. It doesn't get me past the awful play in the first half. This is more, in my opinion, a Colts meltdown than like a credit to the Vikings. But it's also one of the craziest. I mean, in a season full of just weird and crazy games, not just the Vikings, but around the league, it is one of the craziest.
If the Vikings pull off the comeback and Matt Ryan is on the face of the worst Super Bowl loss and the worst regular season, like how does he come back for that? Like how does he go? Honestly, I feel horrible for him, but like, how does he sleep at night?
He's so old now. He's probably just like, but I mean, this is awful. And Justin Jefferson, there was just an incompletion. The ball was thrown high and he was basically hit around the neck. And I think the Vikings were politicking for a penalty flag.
Yeah, Gilmore kind of slammed him to the ground.
Yep. Well, and he also grabbed him by the neck. But
Yeah, Gilmore's been walking that line all day and crossed it. Probably should have been ejected, quite frankly, for the helmet to helmet that he put.
I don't disagree with you on that one.
And so it's fourth down and 10 here.
The Vikings
and
false started.
But if the Vikings wind up not converting a first down, that might be a free play. If the Vikings wind up not converting a first down, they do have 3 timeouts left, and the Colts have done nothing offensively in the second half. So it kind of feels like the Colts just went into the second half saying, all right, let's just run some clock. We'll run the football. Let's hang it. And now in the fourth quarter, it's like, let's just hang on for dear life. So you do have a chance to get the ball back, even if you don't convert what's about to be a 4th and 15.
Yes.
So, and just to reset, we've been here for an hour and a half. This has been largely a therapy session. We appreciate everyone for jumping into an unprecedented halftime start of Vikings Vent Line as we try to process what's been happening here for the last 3 hours. If you could, if you haven't already, please click the subscribe button and the like button on the Purple Daily YouTube channel so we can help spread the word about this Vikings community.
They just stopped Kirk. 4th and 15, Kirk took off because I think the rush was coming and the coverage was too good, and so he tried to run, and he
tried to run 15 yards for a first down.
Yep.
Got tripped up there.
Yep.
So the Vikings do have 3 timeouts left. The game is not quite over yet. Let's just keep. Do we have anyone else? I feel weird because people jumped on to rant about this team, but
we have a couple.
Okay.
We have Rich from Minnetonka here. Rich, what's up?
Hey, Rich.
Hey guys, can you hear me?
We got you, man.
Yeah, I'm born in 1961, same year as the Vikings, and I've just seen too much of this. And the first half broke me. I'm similar to Judd's take. At the end of the Zimmer era, I was in kind of a sad acceptance. I had taken into my heart that it wasn't going to happen during my lifetime. I would just watch the games, turn them off, and I'd just go on with the rest of my life. I was happy. And then, KOC comes in, you get all excited. They beat Buffalo, and now I'm watching YouTube. I'm watching Purple Daily. I'm breaking down film with Boone on Wednesdays. I bought a bunch of Sterlies and I'm drinking them. I'm getting all revved up. And now, of course, the football gods come in and they just yank everything away from me. Not only is the defense bad, we knew that the defense was bad, but now the special teams is going to fall apart. Now the offense we're going to start losing guys and injuries, and they're just slowly going to crush my spirits. You can see how it's going to end. We're going to make the playoffs, and it's just going to end ugly in the playoffs yet again. I think what the sad thing is, this is the Buffalo game could not only be the high water mark of this season, but it could end up being the high water mark of the Kevin O'Connell era. That could be like the high mark. Wow. Because look at what's sad about this is not just the end of this season, but it's going to be a sad ending to the era of Dalvin Cook, of Kendricks, of Harry Smith. All those guys are going to fade away now. And we're going to have to start over again. And by then, I'm calling for Surly for a couple of things. One thing is we need some fine print on this thing. Before I die is one thing, but what if it happens when I'm so old and I'm so senile that I don't realize what's going on the screen?
Before I get to the home.
Yes. I could be sitting there going, number 14, what's Fred Cox doing punting the ball? I could just be so out of it that I don't know what's going on in the screen.
Mm-hmm. Before I lose my wits.
There you go. Before I lose my cognitive.
I lose my wits.
And last time I was on, I mentioned the fact that after 98, I had taken all my jerseys, my kids' jerseys, and I'd thrown them into the trash. And people got on me on the comments thinking that I had forsaken the team, but that's not what I did. What I did was I was making a sacrifice to the football gods. I'm saying, look, you've tortured me enough. I don't stop torturing me now. I'm trying to fake like I don't like the Vikings anymore, and you can go ahead and let them win. But it's been 25 years almost since 98. And still, every year is punishment. So I found something in my mom's basement. This little football card box. I don't know if you can see it, but there's a picture of Joe Cap
Yep.
from the Minneapolis Star on here. Some of you guys don't know, but they used to have two newspapers, the Minneapolis Star and the Minneapolis Tribune. This was the evening newspaper. I cut this out when I was like 9 or 10 years old, and it somehow still managed on this box. I am sacrificing this today, guys.
Wow.
For the good of the team.
Oh my gosh.
Live on Purple
Are you
Daily.
lighting?
I'm
Are you? Oh my God, he's gonna cut it
sacrificing-
up. Oh no, he's cutting
Go
it up.
Cap.
Oh, another
From-
sacrifice. Oh,
I'm sacrificing the picture from
He's cutting it up.
Oh, no, that's killing me.
1969.
Oh, my God.
I'm sacrificing
40 for 60.
so that the Vikings can somehow reach the top.
Ooh.
Wow,
And
Rich.
even if we need to have a beer called After I Die, I would gladly drink the beer After I Die from Surly, just to know that at some point in the future, the Vikings would win the Super Bowl. That's where I am, guys.
Rich, we appreciate your sacrifice. Thank you for coming on Vikings Vent Line
you aware
here.
of that?
The
What's
Colts
going
are
on
going for it on 4th and 1, but they've called a timeout. So the
called
Colts
a
are on the Colts are on the very fringe of field goal range.
Yes.
And this is what's tough. Like it would be like a 53-yard field goal here, right? They're at the 36, 35. So if they kick a field goal, it's over because they'd be up by 11 points at that point.
Right. But if you miss
If they go
it's
for
7
it,
yards back. Yep.
If they go for it, it's over. But yeah, if you miss the field goal, the Vikings then get. I mean, the field position at this point is less relevant. 2:30 left.
Here we go.
Dansby Swanson, not to the Twins, by the way, to the Cubs, in case there's Twins fans out there.
Yeah, that's too bad.
So,
Ryan goes ahead. I think he rode the pile. We'll see where the spot is, but he just rode the pile, and I think he got a yard.
oh my goodness, he definitely got that.
Yeah,
that's the first down. So that'll take you down to the 2-minute warning. Vikings have no timeouts left, and that'll probably be a wrap.
How frustrating is this, though? How frustrating is
And of course, like in true Vikings fashion too. So they go down 33-0, and everyone is just pissed and out.
Yep.
And then they spend the next, third quarter, fourth quarter, digging, clawing their way back into the game.
Yep.
Actually had the ball with a chance to tie it, and they wind up.
Well, and I'm not going to give them the benefit of the doubt here because the first half was so bad, but the officials have taken away 14 points defensively.
Oh my!
Short.
Oh my! They're ruling it short.
Oh really?
They are ruling this short.
Oh, they must feel bad.
2:19 to go.
My
Yep,
God!
I just saw it. Yep. Oh my
They're
God.
ruling it short. The Vikings have the ball down by 8 with 2 minutes and 19 seconds to go.
Oh my goodness.
And by the way, I think they got this one wrong, but they owe the Vikings.
Well,
and I hate saying that.
It's
They
14
have
points.
They have screwed the Vikings out of multiple defensive touchdowns because of early idiot whistles. And so they have to go down, score a touchdown, no timeouts, and then convert the 2-point conversion, and that ties the game, and then they have to somehow then win the game in overtime.
What a meltdown by the Colts.
So I think, Dex, what do you want to do here? You guys just want to kick it around here and see what happens, or do you want to? Is there somebody else in the waiting
one
room?
person in the room. Yeah, we have Nick.
All right, let's clear out the waiting room here. Nick,
what's up?
What's up, Nick?
Hey guys, can you hear me?
Yep.
We got you. What are your emotions like right now?
I don't even know how to feel anymore. This team is so incredibly frustrating to watch, though. They play some of the most terrible football, and then they'll randomly turn it on. The inconsistency is just so difficult to watch. I'm 26 years old. I'm not sure if this team's going to win a Super Bowl before I die because the way they play, I'm not making it to 30, guys. This is ridiculous.
Cardiac kids.
I mean, what we're watching today is sort of unprecedented in NFL history. Like there's never been a comeback of 33 points. There's been one of 32. So this is, I mean, for people riding this roller coaster today, this is, even for Viking standards, this is pretty far out there. Yeah, they keep showing the replay here. I think they
challenged it.
Oh, they challenged it.
The Colts have challenged the spot.
Okay.
And he's
All right.
not down. That's the thing about it is he rode players.
But when did they blow the whistle? That's the question.
They kept pushing it. I got the sound down.
So Nick, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I've just got to add one more thing. When is the NFL going to do something about the way that officiating is handled in this league? It's so bizarre to me. They're not full-time employees. I think it's the only major sports league in the U.S. where that's the case. There's seemingly zero accountability. The league is worth over $100 billion. Just fix it.
Yep.
Yeah, it is. Thanks, Nick, thank you for coming on. We appreciate you waiting for us and kind of riding this roller coaster here. I think they've addressed the early whistle thing before. They've told officials, like, just let it play out. If you let it play out, you have options. You can review it on a scoring play. The opposing team can challenge. If you blow it dead, now you can't, like, put the toothpaste back in the tube, unfortunately. So it is officially Vikings ball.
Wow.
The Colts have lost their challenge. And that means the Vikings now will, I think, I saw that from Andrew Kramer in the call stands. So the Vikings will have the ball, 2 minutes and 19 seconds left, 36-28. So, Judd, I know what you've kind of been saying, which is screw this team, this garbage first half.
Well, this game.
I know, screw this game. But what is this kind of you got to be a little impressed with how much this team just refuses to quit in the fourth quarter when they're down. They've had several double-digit comeback wins.
Yep.
I'm not excusing what happened in the first half, but it is pretty impressive that they just keep coming at you like the Undertaker.
Their season is for sure. Today feels more like this has been an absolute Colts implosion. Yes, throughout the course of the season, a lot of nice one-score wins, but this one feels more like a Colts implosion. And now Dalvin Cook. Dalvin Cook might be gone.
Just say it, dude.
Dalvin Cook
he's
touchdown.
At the 10, he's at the 5.
Dalvin Cook touchdown
into the end zone.
Holy!
Was this a screen pass? The Vikings screen game was
Oh my
rectified
God.
all at once.
Worked. This is unbelievable.
What is happening right now?
Okay, it is 2 points. It's
Unbelievable. Now we got to get 2.
What is happening?
This is the damnedest. I wish we could swear sometime.
Are you serious?
Yes, the Colts.
What? The Vikings are down by 2, and here's the thing: they may have scored too early.
Yep. Well, and at this rate, they really should probably be up by 2 scores because the Sullivan touchdown returns. At least one of them should have counted.
Oh my God, this is ridiculous. And so, here's the other crazy thing. Okay, if they don't get the 2, did they get the 2? They got the 2. They got the 2. The game is tied.
What the?
They were down 33-0 in this game.
TJ Hawkins.
33-0.
Unbelievable.
It is tied at 36.
I left. It was so bad that you guys decided we should start right behind.
Do you regret leaving? You have to at this point. We're sorry. We pressured you into leaving this game.
You pressured me, a pure pressure. But I mean, if we're going to do the show, we got to do the show.
Dude, this is unbelievable. The crowd is going insane. And we can open up the vent lines too. If you want to get in, we kind of closed them off, but I'll throw the email address out again. VikingsVentline@gmail.com. VikingsVentline@gmail.com. Oh, my wife just brought a little celebratory bubbly here.
Thank you,
Oh,
Mr.
my, nice. Very nice of her.
Here. And this is not necessarily Surly sponsored, but
there you go. Pop it.
I'm going to pop this for them just tying the game.
This is incredible.
Just for tying the game, I'm going to pop this.
This is one of the most messed up things I've ever seen.
Oh, my God. How do you process this? VikingsVentline@gmail.com if you guys want to rejoin the show here. I'm thinking, I don't know, we'll figure out what to do with this in post-production, but I'm thinking that if they win this game, we can just kind of like forget that the last hour and a half happened altogether, hour and 40 minutes. It's almost like a choose your own adventure here too. It's like, here, if you guys just like, if you just want a 1 hour and 40-minute bitch session about the Vikings, here's this episode. If you want the celebratory version, if they pull this game off. So the Colts now, they just returned the kick to the 25-yard line. They've done almost nothing on offense in the second half. I can't imagine what Jeff Saturday's thinking right now.
He's thinking, thank God I'm not a real coach.
And now they're showing on NFL Network, they're showing highlights of Bills versus Oilers from 1992 when Frank Reich led the Bills. Backup quarterback Frank Reich, because Jim Kelly was hurt, led the Bills back from down 32, right? What was the score of that game, Judd? It was 35-3 or something?
Matt Ryan just got sacked. There's a fighting chance that the Vikings defense could force a turnover. They could kick a field goal and go.
They could win it in regulation.
Yes, they could. I mean, this is like This is one of the most colossal meltdowns I've ever seen.
Matt
Like,
Ryan.
they are
dude.
just
Has anyone made the
totally-
Matt Ryan point? Matt Ryan.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now we go to commercial break. Oh, unbelievable.
So I'm just firing off a tweet here.
Unbelievable.
Wow. Yeah, Dex, you let us know if you want us to throw it to some more Vikings fans
Yeah, let's
here.
do that here. Let's just do that here.
Okay.
We can fill up the room. Nick, what's up, man?
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Hey, Nick.
This is probably the most exciting game I've watched. Probably better than the Bills game. It's incredible. I don't know what you guys think about that.
I
It's
mean,
incredible. It's more
it
incredible
is,
than
like,
the Bills
it's
game. Yeah.
it's insane. Have we ever seen? So the greatest comeback win is 32 points. Has a team ever come back to tie down more than 32 but lose? Is this the greatest in terms of like just coming back to tie a game? Is this the greatest in NFL history? I'd love to see if there's any crack research folks in the YouTube comment section. I don't think anyone's come back and tied a game down 33 before. It's insane.
Probably
Yeah,
not, no.
it is. The only one is the playoff game. So yeah, this is the biggest regular season comeback if the Vikings win. Well, I guess they've tied it, so it technically has been a comeback. But yeah.
And Dex, you brought it up earlier. Matt Ryan was the quarterback for the greatest Super Bowl collapse of all time, and if they don't win this game, he will be the quarterback for the greatest regular season collapse of all time.
Yeah,
insane.
Yeah, it's nuts. Absolutely nuts.
All right, let's keep it rolling here. Vikings vent line on
Jeff,
the Purple Daily YouTube channel.
Jeff, what's up, man?
Hey guys, how you doing?
Hey Jeff.
I don't even know how to feel right now. I was ready to come on here and kind of give my one bullet point spiel, and I guess I still will. But in essence, this is the epitome of our season on steroids. The agony and the ecstasy, just the complete, the full gamut of Vikings 2022 is in a nutshell in this game. I'll simply say this. On a macro level, well, first of all, on a micro level, if you look at this game, you could do your pie chart of blame. Maybe it'll be a pie chart of praise. But even if it was a blame, there's much more to blame than Ed Donatel. That said, on a macro level, I think the reason we came out so bad in this game is because for the last month, there's been no accountability. And when you have no accountability, you get soft. That's why we're soft. And I know people argued that you can't fire, a coordinator this late in the season. You had to. And the fact that we didn't is why we came out like we did today and like the way we've been for the last month. So I'll leave it at that. One final thing, even though I'm down here in Tulsa, Oklahoma, I hail from the home of Tootsie Roll Hoops. And I'm proud of it. And I'm glad they're a sponsor. I'll hail to Pearl, Minnesota. So thanks, guys. Love the content. And it's been great to be on.
Love it, man. Jeff, thank you. Thank you for the shout out to Nutrisource. Patrick Peterson just being helped off the field with an injury right now, by the way. As the Colts face a 3rd down and 5. Chris Boyd coming in to replace Patrick Peterson.
Oh boy.
Hey, what would you? Let me ask you this, Judd. If let's say they lose the game, what would you want to hear from your, not from a player perspective, but like from your Judd Zulgad perspective? What would the message be from Kevin O'Connell to the team?
That they continue to show their resilience, but my message would be the first half was inexcusable, and as a caller said before, and I agree completely, they are Duke Shelley just tackled Pittman just short of a first down.
So they're going to get the ball back.
145 left, and they're going to get the ball back. I would want to hear that.
Greg, do you trust Greg Joseph at this point?
As the caller, I think you might have to. I think
he's made all these extra points, right? So
the rubber might meet the road for Greg Joseph on field goals today.
This is amazing.
I would want to hear though that first half was the type of half that will get you annihilated in a playoff game.
Yeah.
And so. I mean, if you win this game and it's the Colts, in some ways you pulled a horseshoe from your butt, obviously. But that being said, I think there is also a lot. I mean, those first 2 quarters are like, whoa, what's going on here too? Like if you're a coach, you can't forget that. But this is craziness as a fan. I mean, we're trying to process this in real time, and I don't know how you process this.
Okay, I'm going to ask you another question. If they win the game and you're handing out game balls, do you hand a game ball out to the defensive coordinator that held the Colts to 3 points in the second half while the offense came storming back for 36?
O'Connell, he might do that. Like, I could see that totally happening. I could completely see that.
Right.
Personally, I wouldn't, but yes, I could see him doing that. Yes. But I mean, this, and the Colts are punting. This is such an epic meltdown. All right, the Vikings are going to have the ball at approximately the 26-yard line, their own 26-yard line. But there's 1:10 left, no timeouts for the Vikings.
Okay.
Colts have one timeout.
All right. Old Kirky boy.
He's got the hands on the helmet. He's listening to play call.
Mr. Fourth quarter comeback. Mr. Greatest comeback of all time.
Going after 7 now.
You just need about 35 yards to get Greg the Leg a legitimate chance here, right? Where are they at? They're at their own
26.
26.
Yep.
So 24 yards to midfield, and then let's say another 15 yards to give them a legitimate shot. So you're looking at, you need at least 40 yards here to make this happen.
Dude.
And time is not a factor at this point, I don't think.
All right.
You can run plays in the middle of the field. You got Justin Jefferson, sort of healthy. He's gotten banged up in this game. That's all you need for Greg Joseph. I'll ask you this one too. First pass is incomplete.
Yeah, TJ Hawkinson appeared to have was he tripped or did he? Oh, he got tangled up with the defender.
He tripped on the 40-yard line.
He tripped on number 26 for the Indianapolis Colts, Rodney McLeod Jr.
Gosh, this is just one of the most amazing things. Like, forget even Vikings. Like, this is, for people watching at home, this game was, if there were other options like the Cowboys game, the network would have flipped to a different game. Early third quarter, I think. It kind of would have been like CBS saying to Jim Nantz and Tony Romo, hey, sorry, A-team, we're going to go to a random Bengals and Steelers game here.
Yep. Hawkinson
Cousins did complete one to Hawkinson for about 8 or 9 yards.
Yep, it should be 3rd and 1 officially, so it was a long one. It's a very long one.
I suppose you probably punt the ball if you don't get the 3rd and 1 here. Huh?
Oh, he's going to run, and he's short. It's going to be 4th and 1.
Okay, and the Colts have one timeout. I'm guessing they used it there, Judley.
I'm waiting to see. The clock is. No, they're not. Not yet. At least it's down to 28 seconds.
Why are they not calling a timeout? They have a timeout
because their coach. Because their coach works.
But then they're going to give the Vikings a chance to throw a Hail Mary, right?
Well,
it's 4th and 1.
This is
from there.
insane.
Okay, now they just called it with 22 seconds left.
Yeah.
Okay, so the Vikings are at their own 34-yard line. So why would they not call timeout? There was like 40 seconds left, right? Okay, so I was going to say, if the Colts are going to let the clock run down, do you think Kirk can throw a ball 70 yards in the air?
Well, or hell
to the end zone. So this is almost certainly headed to overtime, but we have seen a blocked punt touchdown in this game.
Don't forget, December 14th, 1980, the miracle at the Met, Tommy Kramer to Rashad took place. We are only 3 days past that date. Could this be a completion? Nope, they're going to.
Well, they're going to punt it.
They have 22 seconds left.
You have to punt it with 22
But
seconds.
as far as comebacks go, I'm saying, could this be, because that was a comeback not nearly like this, but it ended on a miraculous play.
Yeah. By the way, you can get your Mr. Fourth Quarter Comeback chains hooded sweatshirts at scorenorth.com/shop. That's scorenorth.com/shop to get your Mr. Fourth Quarter Comeback
perfect
swag.
Perfect punt by Wright is down by.
It's down inside the 1 yard line. That means well.
I mean,
they can't take a knee.
They can't.
They can't take a knee.
They can win on a safety.
Oh my gosh, you guys. So what do you do here? This is insane. Okay, defensively, this is just like the Buffalo Bills game right now.
Mm-hmm.
And
yep.
The Bills had a mobile quarterback. Like if they wanted to, like the problem against the Bills was if you jam the middle, they could get out, do some sort of option or something, right? This is gonna what? They put this ball at the 2 yard line?
At the 2, so he's gonna take a knee.
But he downed the ball inside the 1, didn't he? That feels like a bad spot to me.
And they're going to let the clock run out.
What's up with that spot? It's a weird spot.
And that's the
so
end
he'll
of
just
regulation.
take a quick knee.
Overtime.
Okay, so we are miraculously going to overtime here. All right, executive producer. What do you want to do here? Because we could just sit here and do.
He wants to go back in time and not start vent line at halftime.
Yeah, that's
No.
that's not, well,
No, it's
I am-
good. It's good.
I
It's a
know,
good therapy
kidding.
session. But are there people waiting for?
Yeah, we got
for
some
us?
people that have now popped.
Let's
popped
do
in
it.
the room.
Who's
right,
next on Vikings Vet Line?
Let's go to Iceberg.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
What's up, dude?
Apparently the Vikings in the second half. Holy Jesus. I'll be real. When it got to like 33-0, I like turned the TV off. My girlfriend went to go get like Christmas shopping and stuff. And she's like, "Are you sure you don't want to watch?" I'm like, "No, I'm just going to stew in my anger watching Purple Daily for like the rest of the half." And so I went to the Jets game a couple weeks back. Right. And like I told my dad at the time after that win, because he's like, "We should go to the Colts game. The Colts suck. We'll beat them. No problem." I told him, "Aren't you glad we didn't go to the Colts game?" And then it was like 33-0. I'm like, "Aren't you really glad we didn't go?" I swear if they come back, now I'm going to kick myself for not buying Colts tickets, like Colts Vikings tickets. Like, I know I'm just rambling at this point, but
it's cool.
I don't know. All the stuff that I was pissed off about, I was mad about in the first half. I mean, I still think obviously that
Vikings
should
won
be
the
upset
toss.
about that.
The
They
Vikings
did?
just won the toss.
I have it muted because I've had it. Okay, I'll be real. I was so mad I couldn't even drink my beer. Like I was so mad I couldn't drink. So I've just been drinking freaking muscle milk all day or whatever.
just getting swole.
Dude,
Not now, Chief. I'm in the zone.
The more that I drink, the better it gets. Like if this is what it has to be, I'll be drinking like 100.
Are you pounding one for every score in the second half?
I'm probably gonna go to the gym for 3 hours after this because I'm on number 3 right now.
Wow.
That's amazing.
Oh my god.
Well, thanks for coming on. Thanks for bringing your muscle milk takes to the show here. And the Vikings to start overtime have won the toss. All right. Well, they just had a chance to win the game in regulation. You got to complete this. This does this mean anything to you if they don't win the game, Judd?
It does. Well, it does as far as the miraculous nature of the comeback, but no, because if they don't win this game, it's still a reflection of an awful first half. So, yes, I will always recall the game at which I left at halftime because the game was so out of control that it appeared that it would just be a second half in which the Colts cruised to victory. So it means something in that way. But no, as far as the Vikings go, they now have to win. They have to win. Because if you don't win, the first half is still a very real thing. If you do win, it's still a real thing, but you still have a victory and now have what? 11 wins and 3 defeats? So yeah, the completion of the comeback is necessary to preserve this game in Vikings annals as far as one of the greatest games that you would recall.
Yeah. I think I would not remember this game much if they didn't pull the victory off. If they kick a game-winning, well, I guess if they kick a field goal, then the Colts will get. If they score a game-winning touchdown here to start first possession, this will be one of the most memorable. You had that list earlier in the year on Mackie and Judd. We like to rank things. It's a segment called Pecking Order.
Yep.
And I think it was after the Buffalo game, you ranked the greatest regular season or most memorable regular season games of all time for the Vikings, or moments, or I think it was games. This would be top 3. This would go beyond what happened in Buffalo. Because the Buffalo thing was a 17-point comeback and just like craziness at the end and the defensive touchdown when you thought the game was over. But to be down by 30 points at halftime, the Colts kicked a field goal, right? I'm sorry, they were down 33-0 at halftime, and then the Vikings went on this barrage. Like, I mean, just full stop. This would be the greatest comeback in the history of the National Football League.
And here we go. They are taking the field.
And so they get stuffed a little bit there on the kick return.
Grant
before the
says,
20-yard line.
Grant says, when Judd left, we start to win. Notice when Judd left, we start winning. Well, you know what, Grant? It's a very good point.
You
I'm
should
not
have left
gonna
that
deny it.
Cowboys game. What were you doing at the
I'm not
Cowboys
going to
game?
do you guys because you guys didn't start Ventline at halftime. I wouldn't have left unless you started.
We
at
started
halftime.
shortly after, right?
Well, whenever you started, yeah, I felt guilty. I felt like I should leave. So, and I also thought that they would get their asses kicked in the second half.
Yeah. The other thing that's crazy here is like, if you're the national media or you're Vegas or you're some of these, analytical websites or whatever, it's like, what do you do with this?
Well, that's why they don't buy in, right? Like today's another example of why the people who crunch this stuff for a living don't buy in, because it's not realistic.
Yeah. But at the, it's what's interesting though is like the Vikings in, like in the yards per play battle in most of their games, usually the opposing team dominates them in yardage and yards per play. Today, the Vikings are averaging just under 6 yards per play, Colts 4.5. So like analytically, this game is friendly to the Vikings in the end. If you watch the first half, it wouldn't be.
Yeah, I was gonna say, eye test wise, it's very friendly in the third and fourth quarter, but you're right.
Yeah.
And
now
Kirk just threw an incomplete pass, and the Colts just took a roughing the passer call.
There you go. Patrick Royce with a great tweet. He goes, I think this will hurt Jeff Saturday's chances to get the Colts full-time job. Yeah.
Oh, helmet to helmet.
Yeah, that's DeForest Buckner, right? He's been wreaking havoc.
Yeah, he's a hell of a player.
It was straight up. He launched himself right into the helmet of Kirk.
Yep.
That's a good call. And the officials still owe the Vikings. They still owe the Vikings on this.
Yeah, they've taken away 14 potential points, right? Shannon Sullivan could have 2 touchdowns.
So it's a 1st and 10. Vikings now at their own 33-yard line. A field goal could be enough because the Colts offense has just been anemic the entire second half and for most of the season. But boy, if you could break a big play here at some point. There's Dalvin trying to run east-west. But the other thing, too, as we kind of digest all of this and what does it mean, one of the character traits you need to make noise in the playoffs is if things aren't going your way, if you're down, can you just keep sitting back up like The Undertaker? Can you keep pushing forward? And they've done it time after time this season. And today, the most ridiculous example. So, like, there's so many rickety things about this team, but they have a quality in the second half and the fourth quarter that a lot of teams would probably like to have. There's a first down reception by KJ Osborne, who's having by far his biggest game of the season.
He's down on the sideline, right knee problem.
It's like a cramping calf. He's pointing to the back of his leg.
Okay. Yeah, that's well, I mean, the thing about this too is like this is fun in the sense that it's a great comeback, but I think the playoff thing is when you're playing a playoff team, and like the Buffalo game does lend credence to the ability to come back against a really good team.
Yeah.
But like the Dallas game, you were basically screwed. The Colts were really bad. And so, like, is this transferable full time? I don't know. Again, I think this all comes back to why the national pundits and the people that do the lines don't believe in the Vikings, because they, to a large degree, I think fairly have no idea what to make of this team.
Yeah, and a lot of it does go back to like just some of the actual numbers, and if at its core, if the opposing team is gaining more yards per play than you are over a long period of time, then you're probably not a great football team. But for some reason, this team has been able to overcome that and win a bunch of games. Another side conversation here. So KJ Osborne, this is one of the biggest games of his career. 9 catches, $142, a touchdown. He also had that near catch that would have been like a 40-yard. So if he pulls that in, we're looking at almost a 200-yard game for KJ. Adam Thielen wasn't even targeted until like early fourth quarter in this one.
Yep.
He did have the red zone touchdown. And did he have the 2-point conversion too? Thielen was he's been a factor a couple times, but
no, Hawkinson did.
Okay.
The 2-point.
So the Vikings are at like the 50-yard line here, trying to dink and dunk their way into field goal range. A little Johnny Munt.
Johnny Munt time.
It's Munt
Got
season.
Munt. It just happened. Johnny Munt. I told you.
My question to you is this the game where KJ Osborne became the Vikings' number 2 wide receiver?
That's what I said. I think it should be. Like, he can run. He can get the yak. So yes. This should be the game in which KJ, that doesn't mean that Thielen doesn't have a role, okay? So, like, don't think we're saying that he does not have a role. But, yes, this should be the game. Here's Dalvin for a couple of yards. 1st and 10. They're going to score. They're going to score a touchdown. They're going to end this game.
they should definitely not look to get conservative here, right? All due respect to Declan's guy, Greg Joseph here, but he's done enough by making extra points today. Greg, you've done enough.
You don't win, right? You don't win on a Joseph
field goal. You might win.
Field goal,
the Colts
so you're
offense.
going to give
field goal.
No, I'm saying put the dagger in, right?
Yeah.
Like, just put the damn dagger. Put the damn dagger in.
Who puts the dagger in? It's got to be Jefferson, right?
My God.
Or can we just get a crazy legs Kirk scramble for like 30 yards?
I like that call. Okay, Kirk is now. Oh, he got a couple of yards. He was being sacked, and he actually lunged forward. If you can go watch this, Kirk backwards lunged himself forward. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, you're about 10 or 15. He did get sacked. It is a loss of 3 yards on the play, so it'll be.
He tried to get.
It'll be second down. At the very least, you have to give Greg Joseph a chance at a field goal. But then it's like if it's like a 50 to 55 yarder, and he misses it, then the Colts just have to go like 20 yards to get their own field goal to win it. But at that point, it's you still have to.
This might be the game.
Although
this might be the game, you guys.
A tie does clinch you the division.
Mm-hmm. I hate ties.
A tie clinches you the division.
Ball batted down at the line of scrimmage
on 2nd and 14.
So it's now 3rd and 14.
And you're not in field goal range right now. So you need something. Yeah, ball was batted.
You know what? Get in field goal range, about a 54-yard field goal attempt,
and fake it.
And see what see what Declan's guy can do. We've been talking about this all year.
Let's see. Do that. Okay, let me ask you this, Declan, right now.
Game's gonna come down.
How confident are you in Greg the Leg?
Nails.
Give the Vikings a 3-point lead.
Nails.
Okay.
Very confident.
Okay.
Nails.
Do the Vikings have a kicking problem? I think that, they rolled the roulette chamber how many times? 5 times on extra points today? Or 4 times? What's happening, Judge?
Completion to the 40-yard line. TJ Hawkinson on 3rd and 14 just cut a ball, and a flag is down. Oh. So the flag is going to be absolutely crucial to how this plays out.
Actually, forward progress probably to the 38 there.
Okay.
Let's see what the flag is.
That's about
48, 55.
Oh my God.
55-yard, Dex?
Be about 55, 56.
All right, but what's the flag? They're talking to Saturday, so I'm guessing it might be against the Vikings. All right, here we go.
Are they talking to Saturday? Or are they? Yeah, they're talking to Saturday.
Over to Saturday. It's a hold on the Vikings.
So basically, the Colts are trying to decide: do they want to push the Vikings further back?
Yes.
Or do they want to? Dude, I would probably just take my chances on a 50. If I'm the Colts, I would decline this.
So you're
3rd and 20.
Oh, they're pushing. So this is actually probably good for the Vikings.
God, this is unbelievable.
Would you have declined that if you were the Colts? Say, hey, line it up from 56. Your guy has made basically one of these all year.
Darsa, it looks like he's cramping now.
All these guys are cramping. I mean, how many freaking offensive plays have they run?
Or is it what's going on here? They're looking at his. I can't tell what they're looking at. They grabbed his hand, but it might be. I think he's cramping.
These guys are cramping. The Vikings have run 80 offensive plays in this game. The Colts have run 71. Insane.
I think I would accept a penalty and take my chances on 3rd and 24 because their defense, although it's been so bad in this half, their defense is actually not that bad. He's walking off now. But yeah, I mean, you're right, Phil. Greg the Leg. I would love to see it. 57 yards. I would. You're right.
Would you rather see, rank the outcomes? I know a win is number 1, but where would you rank tie versus loss?
A tie would be good.
A tie gets you the division.
A tie gets you the division.
Good.
So
could you imagine tying this game?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
This game's going to be hard to forget no matter what. So,
if they tied, would the Vikings still get credit for the greatest fourth quarter comeback of all time, or would you'd have to win the game, I would think, right?
I think so.
Right.
All right, here it is. 3rd and 24. Hawkinson to the 40 to the 39.
Do you line it up?
39.
So now it's
57-yarder. Do you line it up?
You got to do it.
They basically got the 10 yards back, right?
Okay. Do you line this up? You have to, right? Or do you go for it? Because it's also a 3rd and 9. That's a long way.
No, you attempt the field goal here.
It's 4th and 10 now. Officially
Wait,
4th and 10, according to the graphic.
They're gonna punt it. They're gonna punt it.
What?
Yep, they're punting. Ryan Wright is on the field.
Okay. There's a case to be made for punting here. And that case is the Colts offense is a complete train wreck.
Yep, you're right.
In the
Not
second
10.
half, they've done nothing. Could you then just get the ball back?
Fair catch at the 12.
Okay.
Fair catch at the 12. He tried to.
And keep in mind, like Matt Ryan is just as likely to throw a game-ending pick six as almost anyone else.
I don't disagree with you, Phil.
Okay.
Yep. That's not a terrible strategy right there.
It's also just a huge lack of faith, justifiably so, in Greg Joseph to kick long field goals, unfortunately.
Well,
which is kind of where we're at with Greg
There's certain people on this show who feel that there is a kicking problem, and then there's certain guys that feel that he would have been, if given the opportunity, and I quote, nails.
Yeah. Amazing. While we have a moment to breathe here, thank you guys for hanging out with us for over 2 hours. We started this as just a gripe session at halftime, unprecedented early start for Vikings vent line, and now we're sweating out to see if the Vikings can complete the greatest comeback in the history of professional football, or at least the National Football League. And the Colts get a few yards on the first run play.
If the Colts go down and score here, is Donatel's job in trouble compared to if the Vikings come back and win now?
No, I think unfortunately, I think he's safe because of the second half and what happened. I think it's almost like a vibes check. What do you think?
Oh, it depends on what happens on this drive. Colts just completed a first down pass, and Peterson's hurt again. What's wrong? He looks like
I think these dudes are just cramping up. Maybe.
I mean, the Colts only have 316 yards of offense today.
Peterson was just face down, and now he's starting to get up. I have no idea. I mean, he is an old man. Hicks tipped the ball. So Hicks tipped the pass.
Napping, actually.
And Pittman caught it. And Bynum and Peterson made the tackle. So Hicks got his fingertip on the ball, and now Peterson's coming off the field.
Oh, yeah, it got redirected. Wow, that's actually an amazing catch by Pittman. Wow. Yep. So, yeah, I mean, Chris Boyd was out there for a while when Peterson got hurt the first time. So
and now he's going to be back out there again. And if I am the Colts, I am picking on 29.
He's limping. Yeah, Peterson's definitely banged up.
It's Boyd and Duke Shelley as the outside corners. Whoever thought it would come down to that this season, eh?
Oh, man. Can't be a whole lot worse than
Ryan. Oh, is that a fumble? What was Ryan doing? Ryan was getting sacked and he coughed the football up.
Talk to us.
Oh, he was trying to. He was being sacked and he tried to pass it.
Oh boy, that looked like that might have gotten popped out.
Yeah, it was a fumble.
By the way, it is cramps for Christian Darrisaw. He's probable to return with cramps.
Oh yeah, that's a fumble. Yeah, no, on replay, that's a fumble. He got
that got popped out.
Yeah, he was not trying to throw it ahead. He lost the ball flat.
That is okay. Wow. So the ball gets jarred loose.
Yeah.
And he pushed ball gets jarred loose and he pushed it forward as it was loose. That has to be a fumble, right? Because if the ball gets jarred loose first.
Yep. So it's so right now it's 2nd and 10.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was thinking the Vikings recovered it. Okay.
No, the Colts got it back.
Got it.
But now
I was excited there for a second.
Oh, okay. So we're having a review, I think, to probably determine if this was a forward pass. Because if it's a forward pass, it should be a sack. Oh yeah, he pushed it. That's a really weird play.
And it was absolutely recovered by the Colts.
Yes, that's not debatable.
Okay.
But I would get. So what are we looking at? So we're looking at.
But they would have gained yards on this play then, right? So instead of a 2nd and 10, depends on where he recovered. Because that's a fumble. You can recover it and move it forward in that situation if you're the offense, right?
Yes, so. I think I think you're right. You can't down towards the goal line because that's the old Kenny Stabler holy roller play with Chargers and Raiders.
This would be a great time on 2nd and 9 here.
Duke Shelley. The Duke. I never said I didn't like the Duke. I just thought his name's funny.
Peterson also has cramps. So it's cramps for everybody.
So we're all old.
I don't think they expected to play 80 high intensity plays like this.
Well, then you know what? Don't fall down 30-0 and 33-7, and you don't have to.
This is legitimately one of the most. If the Vikings win, it'll be one of the most talked about regular season games ever. Like it'll be a game that lives on. It is the greatest comeback of all time.
Yep.
If the Colts win, it'll be a little bit more of a nondescript thing, but
Ryan gets hit, And did we get did the Colts get the first down? That's the question. This is very close.
Completed pass.
Pittman caught the pass.
Yeah, you're ahead. God, he got tugged there.
Mhm.
I think he may have stretched across. So
Let's
it
see it,
depends on the spot.
Oh,
So he
First down.
Shelley again. Oh, I don't know. I don't know if he got it.
was his knee down before the ball
I don't know
reached
if they got-
across.
yeah.
What a freaking
They gave it to
game,
him.
man.
They gave it to him.
So yeah, his knee was not down. That is a first down. So
Yeah,
and the
this is
clock
crazy.
now is down to almost 2 minutes.
Yep.
Yeah.
This will
They're gonna-
forever.
This is going to end in a tie.
Well, the Vikings do have 2 timeouts left, and the Colts just dove into the line of scrimmage here.
Yep. So and now we're hitting 2 minutes right now.
Yeah, I will say this just for the purposes of the show: if they lose the game or tie, well, if they lose the game, they'll probably just be a wrap because we already vented for 2 hours about the Vikings. Appreciate you guys. If they win the game,
we started a new.
We start a new Vikings vent line.
Reset.
If they tie the game, what do we do?
All night show. We don't go off the air till tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. We do a telethon marathon show.
Do you have your pie chart, chef? Do you have your pies cooking? Do you have like 3 different pies cooking based on blame, praise, tie?
No, I can't. I'm gonna need a brief moment to gather myself to do the pie
I've had to
chart.
pee for like an hour too. I just want you guys to know how much of a warrior
gotta
I am
pee
right
as
now,
well.
bladder wise.
I gotta pee as well. All right, 2-minute warning. 36-36, second and 9 for the Colts, who need to get into field goal range to attempt a field goal by yet another former Viking, Chase McLaughlin, who was on the practice squad for a couple of years. Yeah, these guys.
Also, I think it says that the Indianapolis Colts would be the first team with 2 ties in the same season. That's not true. Didn't the Vikings have 2 ties in a season one time?
In Grant's first year in 67, they tied like 3 games.
Yeah. So I don't know. I saw that come across from somebody. That's not correct.
Super Bowl era or something. I don't know. Or whatever they consider since 1970, the merger. All right.
You can't. This game can't end in a tie, can it?
Oh, it's going to.
Oh, big loss.
Freaking tie. Uh-oh.
For short pass play that didn't get him a thing. My guy, Chris Boyd.
So yeah, they're 5 wide. Oh, they tried to set up a bubble screen.
You
Harrison
might want to
Phillips.
drive the ball down the field. No? Out third
So
and 9.
yeah, and so the Vikings are hanging on to their. Well, they might have just called one here. So
Yep, they did.
okay,
They
so
just called
third down
timeout.
and
You're right.
9, minute 51. Vikings just call one of their 2 remaining time. No, the clock just ticked twice from 150. There we go. The Vikings did call a timeout.
Yep. It stopped right now.
Okay.
Okay, so they just okay.
This is bonkers. I wonder how many fans left at halftime.
Third night. I saw a few. In fact, I
Had
saw
to have been, right?
I think a couple was so disgusted that I saw them bickering.
I left at
That's a whole
halftime of
nother
the
story.
Kevin Love 30-30 game back like 10 years ago.
What is that? Oh my God. Oh my God. Matt Ryan. Cam
What
Bynum
happened?
almost picked him off. He threw what looked like he must have
Whoa,
been hit.
major pressure. Whoa, dude.
And
Whoa.
basically- And Cam Bynum almost picked that ball off.
Okay, so this is now the 3rd chance at a game-winning drive for the Vikings. How are you down 33-0 and have a 3rd crack at a game-winning drive?
Jalen Rager back to return the punt.
The Vikings brought the freaking house on that play too. Interior
Yeah,
pressure.
guess what? I'm
Dial
sure
it
Ed was
up.
told you might want to dial it up once in a while. All right, that's a good punt.
You know what? I
18
just want
yard
to say, I just tweeted this out. All right.
Uh-huh.
We haven't talked a lot about Kirk today because it's just been a weird game flow.
Mhm.
All the stuff that's happened here. They've been playing football for 4 hours here, right? Kirk Cousins has a chance to be a legend right now. The only reason why people talked about Frank Reich for like 30 years was because he quarterbacked the greatest comeback in NFL history. Kirk Cousins has a chance to put himself on that board for the rest of his life.
Yeah, he won't be
Unless you
forgotten
think
for
there's
it.
another 33-point comeback coming in the next 30 years.
No, you're right.
He legitimately has a chance to be remembered as the greatest comeback quarterback in a sense of being down by 33.
They are playing for a tie.
They're running. They just ran.
Yeah, they are playing for a tie.
Interesting. Well, they did gain 6 yards on that run play.
You know what we need next? A field goal kicking contest, a shootout in football. Greg Joseph against McLaughlin, a field goal kicking contest, Dex. We move
Gotta be
them back
amazing.
and back and back
Yeah.
until the last one's a 60-yarder.
How do you feel? How do you feel about this? I want to know too from the YouTube commenters
Kirk
here.
is passing now. KJ again.
First down.
KJ to the 39, his own 39. So
How do fans feel about
going for
if
the
the
field
if the Vikings tie, they win the division? How do you feel about that?
oh my God, Kirk's now at 427 yards passing with 4 touchdowns. KJ,
So it's the
10
most he's
catches,
ever had.
157. And after a first half, though, it was abysmal for everybody.
Darrisaw's back too, by the way.
Okay.
So they got his
We just
cramps
had
under
a
control.
completion to Thielen at the Colts 40.
Oh boy.
There are
Oh my
37
God, here we
seconds
go.
left, and Kirk is now.
Dude,
what is Kirk
come
motioning
on.
for?
Oh wow, dude. Okay, Adam Thielen.
That's a hell of a throw. That's a hell
Adam
of a throw.
Thielen. This is incredible.
We are now going to.
So
yeah.
33 seconds left. Vikings do have a timeout left, but they're going to wind up lining up for either
Okay.
unless the field goal gets blocked. They're going to wind up lining up for a game-winning field goal, worst case scenario tie, division is theirs. Kirk looks like that's incomplete off
It
to the
is.
right side. So 19 seconds left to Hawkinson there.
It skipped.
So
Yep.
here's a question, okay? If they don't move the ball forward, they're at the 40-yard line. Do you attempt, but there's only time for one more play. Do you attempt a play? Do you attempt a field goal that could be low trajectory, like a 58-yard field goal?
That's a good point. Get blocked.
I do.
Something
I
crazy
do.
happens.
Screw it. If they block a kick and run it back, I just tip my cap and say, all right.
Darrisaw's hurt again. It's the cramps again. He can't stay on the field. He's coming off. That's too bad. All right, so 19 seconds left. Greg Joseph on the sidelines.
This is bonkers, dude.
Working
This is
on his
just
craft.
insane.
But I mean, yeah, you could take the. You're right. You could take the tie and just take the division that way. And but my God, can you? If they get this, if they get the field goal,
yeah.
I mean, it's nuts.
Myron Medcalf, our buddy, tweeting out too. This is not the greatest comeback of all time. This is the greatest collapse of all time.
Yeah,
it's both though. It's
Yeah,
both.
yeah.
Like the
It's both,
Vikings
yeah.
have done some
Colts aren't good.
some great things on offense in the second half.
All right,
You know,
Jefferson just caught the ball. Jefferson to the 30, over the 30 to the 26-yard
Oh
line.
my God.
All right, 13, 12 seconds left. No timeout, so they got to spike the ball.
No. Oh, you're right. Sorry.
Yep, they got to spike the ball with 3 seconds. A flag is down. Wait. So a flag came
I think there's a flag for the Colts are like trying to grab Vikings players and stuff. Yeah. The Colts are literally trying to like grab,
So
like
that's not
hold
the clock.
Vikings players down.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what happened.
I couldn't
This is
see
a
that.
good call by the Vikings. Yeah, the Colts have been penalized for keeping the Vikings from lining up.
Yeah, I mean, it's a two-way street. Colts certainly aren't good, and this is a colossal meltdown, but this is, I mean, I don't know.
Well, at the end of the day, the Vikings had to score.
Yep.
Was it 36 second half points?
Mm-hmm.
So, and it wasn't like they got a blocked punt and a kick return touchdown. Like, correct me if I'm wrong, the Vikings scored 36 points the hard way.
Yep, delay game. So they'll
On the
come
defense.
here and Greg
So that'll
Joseph-
be a yardage tacked on, which means this is going to wind up being like a 40-yard field goal.
All right, here he goes.
Oh, he held Joseph. Okay, so he was holding Jefferson down the whole time, and then they were trying to screw with the football.
All right.
Here's
The
the nail.
Vikings are lining up for a 40-yard field goal to clinch the NFC North.
Just don't get a block, too.
And to complete the greatest comeback in the history of the National Football League
All right,
right now.
Let's all observe them.
The Colts have taken a timeout to ice Greg the
They're going to
leg.
ice him. They're going to ice him. So basically, though, you're now in a situation where you just can't get the kick blocked, because if he misses, you're still going to win the division.
I'm going to see the result come across Twitter before you guys see it on your screens. Do you want me to shout it out, or do you want to wait for it to come across Judd's screen or Deck's screen? I'll shout it out. I'll just shout it out, one way or the other.
Also, my fiance might just scream, and I think that'll be also a tell.
I've heard screaming upstairs, dog barking, everything. This is great.
If you
Again.
guys, I mean, the screaming here, like I lived upstairs from some folks that screamed and slammed doors. It's very annoying.
Oh yeah, okay.
All right, here it is, boys.
All
Greg
right.
Joseph lining up.
All right.
For the NFC North and for the greatest comeback in NFL history. And it's gone! The Minnesota Vikings have completed the greatest comeback in the history of the NFL.
And I left.
They are NFC North champions. What are you talking about?
Oh my God.
Are you kidding me?
Oh my
God.
God.
A 39-36 victory for the Minnesota Vikings as we are still live on the Purple Daily YouTube channel here.
God.
This is Vikings Vent Line. And boys, we're just going to fire up. We've been live for 2.5 hours because people just wanted to complain about the first half. Let's start it all over again.
Oh, I wish the flag's at home. I'm in studio because it was the quickest drive to possibly make, so I could leave at halftime and join you bozos because it was 33-0.
First half score, Colts 33-0. Second half score, Vikings 39-3. And Mr. Fourth Quarter comeback with his seventh of the season?
Yep. He's at
Kirk
7 now.
Cousins. And
Yes, sir.
Kirk Cousins is now the quarterback of the greatest comeback in NFL history. Phil Mackey, Judd Zolgad, our executive producer, Declan Goff. If you want to join the show, it's vikingsventline@gmail.com.
Go
what?
pee. Go pee.
Go.
Go pee.
I have to pee.
Yeah,
I
just
can't.
go. Just go.
Can't
Yes,
wait.
you're good. All
Go.
right, go.
Why am I breaking?
Oh my God.
Old
Good,
man.
it's good. Just go.
Amazing.
Incredible.
Amazing. Let's turn the show over here. The show is sponsored by our friends at TCL, and I'll reset this too for you here, Declan. TCL is one of the world's best-selling consumer electronics brands. Oh my gosh. Award-winning lineup of TVs delivering the most entertainment with stunning resolution, all at an affordable cost. Enjoy more of the things you love with TCL. And thanks to our friends at Surly. We just want the Vikings to win a Super Bowl before we die, and that's been the motto on this show for years, and Surly has put that on an actual tall boy. So thanks to them. All right. Let's keep it going. Who's next on Vikings Vent Line?
Will.
Oh, wow. Okay, so the cardiac kids decide to strike again. Oh man, that was. I'll give it to Kirk and that offense. I don't know what the heck Kevin O'Connell did with him, but that dude, again, last year Kirk would never have done this. There's just no way he would never have done this. But it just goes to show that you can't count the Vikings out. I know we were all pissed. I was as pissed as just about everybody else, but you just can't count them out. That's an amazing thing. The mental turnaround of the offense has been one of the most beautiful things that we have all possibly seen. And I know as much as we can still give credit to Ed Donato, I'm still skeptical because he still tries to force players into his scheme and what he wants rather than doing what Kevin O'Connell does and kind of scheming around the players that he has. And I don't know. That still needs to change, but I'm not going to take this away from him. That was a pretty beautiful comeback. And you know what? We all have heart attacks every single time we watch this team, but you know what? It does make the wins all that much sweeter. And thanks for having me on.
Will, thanks for coming on, man. Leading off the second half, I guess, of Vikings Vent Line here on the Purple Daily YouTube channel. Kirk Cousins finished with 460 yards, 4 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, including a pick 6, by the way. That was Jalen Reagor's fault. 460 yards are a career high, and he is now the architect of the greatest comeback in National Football League history. Sorry, Frank Reich, your 15 minutes or 30 years of fame are over. How about that, too? Frank Reich gets fired from the Colts, and then in his absence, the Colts are the team that give up the 33-point comeback. Let's keep it moving here, Dex.
Yeah, we'll keep it going. Let's go to Vikes fan 47 here next.
Hey guys, what a win. This family, the Purple Daily family, is the best. I sincerely love the content that you guys put on. Man, I was standing, I think, for the last 2 hours straight with occasional sits on my couch. But so I started. I sent some emails. I lost my voice, but
That's okay,
I'm
man.
in a house by myself because my family's not with me today.
Players are cramping. Vikes fan 47, his voice is cramping. It's a warrior effort on all fronts today.
But a tale of two halves. I think that was by far the worst half of football I've seen the Vikings play in probably a decade or two. And the second half was one of the best halves of football, offensive and defensive. We were aggressive. Maybe this is what the team needed to get after the quarterback. We blitzed most passing downs. We were bringing pressure defensively to stop the run too. The Donashell defense has got to go. I think his hand was forced in the second half, and look at the results. And as far as Kirk Cousins and just all those receivers, KJ Osborne, Jefferson, Hawkinson, Thielen came through on a big play. We're clutch, and I think that locker room, something happened in a half. It was about pride. They were playing not to win the game in the second half. They were playing just to prove to themselves, to each other, that they are a Super Bowl contender. And the fact that they came back, the resiliency they showed. Don't forget a phantom call on a punt return that was like a 50-yard punt return and 2 defensive touchdowns. One, you could say, all right, forward progress, maybe was stopped. But that second one, the refs were against us today.
Yeah.
And we still pulled it off. So as upset as everyone was in my family, I was calling back home at halftime. They really showed us something, and I love this team. I love the coaching staff. I think they got through the team, and I love the leadership. People could have quit. Players could have quit on each other. They didn't. So I'm loving it. It was a huge win.
Awesome, man. Thanks for coming in. Appreciate the kind words about this Purple Daily community. Vikes fan 47. Let's keep it rolling here. Judd's back from the pisser. I mean, Judd's been a warrior here. 53 years old. I think his connection's a little off, so we can just let him kind of marinate over there. But what a warrior. Judd leaves at halftime to come create content for you guys, and they complete the greatest comeback in NFL history. Who's next on Vikings Vent Line, Declan? Purple Daily YouTube channel.
Let's go to AJ.
AJ.
Oh my God. What? Let's cue up the Old Joy boys from the last Minneapolis Miracle. Let's go. Let's go. Let's get the flag. Let's get it going. Let's go. Oh my God. All right. I just want to, as much as I love this and as much as I love the comeback win, I hate how this bailed out Ed Donatello. I literally think he just saved his job because at halftime, I'm like, is he going to get fired? Like, is he going to be in the car with Judd on the way out of the stadium? Because, 33-0. And then all of a sudden, they just flip the switch. And, oh, my God, if I could fire someone's ass real quick, Jeff Saturday, you are the worst coach in the world. 33 lead at halftime. You got the refs taking away touchdowns off the board for the Vikings twice. Phantom freaking face mask call on a punt return that should have set us up for a game winner. And you somehow managed to lose the game against the worst defense in the NFL. Dude, I cannot wait for Boone's episode. This is hilarious.
And AJ,
Love
you just
it.
remind me, so it's a historic day on two fronts. The Vikings just completed the greatest comeback in NFL history, and they're the first team to beat a head coach on the same day as his last name. Jeff Saturday on a Saturday. Get the flag.
Let's go. Let's go.
They're gonna be talking about both for decades, I am sure.
And first vent line at halftime. You guys sparked the comeback. I swear to God, because I was done. I turned you guys on. I'm like, oh, they're on. What are they doing? A halftime show? Oh no, this is the actual vent line. And as soon as Judd got in the studio, it just turns around.
We're
Oh,
probably gonna wind. AJ, thank you for coming on, dude. We're probably gonna wind up. We'll just like split this in half and just keep the first part up and say like, this is how pissed people were before the comeback or something. Judd's working on his connection and maybe his bladder again. We're not sure, but let's keep it moving here, Dex, on Vikings Vent Line.
Let's go to Rose 42.
Hey, can you guys hear me?
We got you, man. Yeah.
Oh, sweet. Yeah, long time listener here. Well, I guess not super long time. It was a lot of fun watching the game with you guys here, and thank you for starting at halftime because I don't think I would have watched it then. And then it was kind of funny. My wife, when they kicked the field goal, the first thing she thought, she was almost going to start crying for Judd that he left the game.
Yeah.
I don't know if he did go. I don't know if he actually had to pee or if he just maybe did have to go cry for a second.
He may. We don't know. He may be curled up in the fetal position somewhere.
I know, but I do appreciate what you guys do. It's a lot of fun, and I am looking forward to when you guys roll out the Timberwolves Vent Line. Because I got plenty of people to talk Vikings with. Not a lot of people in my circle really follow the Timberwolves, so you guys are kind of my Timberwolves crew here. So
Kyle Tigey from Flagrant House has been texting me. I just checked my text messages from the set because I had the game up on my phone. He's been just like riding the roller coaster of this game. He's a big Vikings fan.
That's where I kind of thought like what he said in the last Flagrant House you guys did when you were talking about just being fans and just enjoying it, because it is funny to listen to you or watch how you started at the beginning of this, kind of like what you did with Karl Anthony Towns last year, just throwing him under the bus, and then as it just slowly switched to where we're gonna, oh hey, this is actually pretty good. The Vikings, maybe they're not frauds, I guess, but anyways,
I don't know.
A lot of fun. But
Thank you for coming on. Happy Saturday to your family there. Yeah, I don't even know how you would call them frauds after the first half. I don't know what you would call them after the second half, but they just keep coming at you, man. Like, that's the one thing about this team. Whether they are down by 33 or whether they're down by 7 or whatever, like, they just keep coming at you offensively. And I think this is the 7th fourth quarter comeback of the season now. So they've had, 7 of their 11 wins have been an adverse situation late in the game that they've had to overcome, Dex.
Yeah, it's just nuts, man. I mean, I'm glad we started early because it's great we built the room. And the other half of me is like, I didn't get to watch what was probably the craziest comeback of all time in the second half, but it was still insane. And here we are. There's a bunch of people hanging out with us, so I'm all good with it.
Awesome. And if you guys could click the subscribe button on the Purple Daily YouTube channel and the like button, we'll get you daily Vikings content, entertainment, and we ride in this roller coaster and therapy as needed. We had a therapy session there for about 2 hours that turned into a celebration. So, all right, who's next?
All right, let's go to Robert and his doggos.
Hey guys, how's it going?
What's up, Robert?
Not much. To give a little shout out for the doggos.
Oh, good doggos. Yes.
Had to keep them downstairs in the living room. Actually, didn't want them to hear the cries and the anger that was going up in the TV room.
You scare the crap out of them. Yes, you got to keep them comfortable.
Yeah, I just want to keep them away from that. I gotta say, what a win! What a win. It's kind of hard to see how we came from the first half to the second half. I was a little scared at the end in overtime. Had to make a note of it. Buckner tipped the Kirk Cousins pass on the 3rd and 14th. And I'm a Red Sox fan, so I'm like, oh, God, no, not Buckner. So I was glad we came back and didn't, repeat that because that would not been fun. But, this was a great win, but got to fix that defense. I mean, if it wasn't for this comeback, we could have still been 33-0.
Yeah, amen. Robert, thanks for coming on, man.
Thank you.
Say hi to your Vikings fan dogs there for us, and we'll get you on again sometime. Let's keep it moving here. Vikings Vent Line.
Carl, what's up, dude?
Carl, dude.
I'm dumbfounded. My voice is gone. My sanity is gone. But this was different than the Bills game because in the second quarter of the Bills game, I wasn't how I was feeling in the second quarter of this game. It's just for about 40 minutes, I just couldn't say a word. I couldn't manage the strength to even say anything. It wasn't it wasn't everybody's fault. Obviously, we had the 2 very unlucky plays with the punt block and whatnot, and then just the pick six. It is what it is. And then, of course, the ref bumps today. And just, we're over it now. If we won, we would have been complaining about it for a lot longer. But it's amazing now that Matt Ryan has not only done the comeback in the Super Bowl, but now he's done this comeback as he's allowed this comeback as well. He's given up these comebacks to the 2 greatest quarterbacks in NFL history. Tom Brady, hold up. Tom Brady and noon Kirk Cousins. The 2 greatest quarterbacks in NFL history.
Dude, noon Kirk Cousins just peaked today. This was the fully realized version of the noon Kirk Cousins, right? Today, right here.
Yeah, I mean, like, to be honest, I don't even know if it was Kirk Cousins today, because not only that game today, you can argue that it's Super Bowl 52, Patriots-Eagles, the greatest game in the history of US Bank Stadium. There's arguments to be made. You can say 1 or 2. But today, we saw the greatest fourth quarter in the history of the Minnesota Vikings. Take a little field trip here. And we saw the ultimate version of Kirko Chains. We saw the fourth quarter pharaoh, the comeback creator, the late game luminary, the dagger doctor shall he forever reign over Minnesota, Kirko Chains.
A Kirko Chains wall! It's a Kirko Chains wall!
It's like the Always Sunny gift. I did this and this and this.
And with that, thank you for your time this afternoon. I have no words. I'm gonna go pass out.
Hell yeah,
there he
Carl.
is. Carl is gonna go pass out under his Kirko Chains wall.
Top 5 calls I think we've ever had on that.
Dude, okay,
Top
I'm gonna
5
track
moment.
mark that. 2 hours 41.
Yeah.
That'll make the socials later. All right, Carl, the Kirko Chains
Oh my
wall.
god, absolutely
Amazing.
incredible, dude.
Don't F with noon Kirk Cousins. You F around, you find out when it comes to noon Kirk Cousins.
Amen. We have like 6,000 people watching us right now on the Purple Daily YouTube channel. So hit the subscribe button. This is the first time you're discovering us. Purple Daily, 7 days a week Vikings podcast. This is Vikings Ventland. We've been rolling for basically like a Tarantino film of almost 3 hours right now. So thank you for everyone who was hanging out. Thank you for everyone too for joining. If you're discovering this for the first time, hit the like button, subscribe button. We're Daily Vikings Entertainment. We got some more Vikings fans obviously in the room here. Let's go to Joe next. Joe, what's up?
Hey, Joe.
Yo, what's going on? Because they're better than you and you know it. I believe that's what Kevin O'Connell probably said to Jeff Saturday. I just have a few observations. I didn't turn from the game. I watched the whole game, so I saw the whole comeback. Anytime that I hear them talk about history, I always try to kind of key in and watch it, because I remember when they played the Colts, the last time they beat the Colts in '97 with Randall Cunningham against Jim Harbaugh, and it kind of springboarded them into the '98 season when they went 15-1. So this game to me was, I heard Nate Burleson said, he called him soft. He called him soft. He said, this is embarrassing. And he said that it is not much to be said during halftime. You get in those guys' faces and you challenge them, because it was a pride thing. You don't let a team that's 4-8-1 come into your stadium. You got all the Skull Nation in there. You got national TV in there, and they mollywop you in the first half. They shut you out. You don't do that. So they came out, with a Hulk Hogan type comeback, pointing at the Colts and getting the job done. But what I was excited to see was to see guys like was Otomawo and see Brian Asamoah getting some run, see Speedy Naylor getting some run, and seeing finally get KJ Osborne integrated into the offense, because during the pregame, that's what Michael Irvin said. He said, get KJ Osborne more involved, run some screens with Dalvin Cook, do some different stuff. And I believe that's one of the things that make the difference. And that's going to make a difference going forward. You got to get everybody involved. All the other teams do it. So stop sticking to the same recipe with run on first down, then throw to Justin Jefferson. Use everybody. That's what they're there for. I mean, and the Jalen Reagor plays were bad. But my thing is, what do you expect from a guy that you bring in after the season starts? He really doesn't have any chemistry with Kirk. Yeah, he cut his routes off twice, and they let the bad picks. But I mean, integrate him more. You got speed. Speed kills. So Congratulations, we're 11-3, the North Division champions. So let's see what happens from here on out. I still believe they can go to the Super Bowl and win it.
Great stuff from Joe. Joe, awesome, man. Thanks for coming on Vikings Vent Line. Man, I want to throw this out here too. So we've had some fun over the years with the Cousins haters and the Cousins Crusaders on the show, like the Hatfields and the McCoys or the Jets and the Sharks. And we had a group of Cousins Crusaders from Canada led by Ray. It's the crazy Canadian Cousins Crusaders. I said, hey, if you guys are down for it, it'd be a blast to get everyone together the last month of the season and just come together, great time of year, and donate to Kirk's charity at kirkcousins.org. And we said, you know what, that sounds like a great idea. And I think after Mr. Fourth Quarter comeback, the fourth quarter pharaoh himself, the secondary slayer, the dagger doctor, just completed the greatest comeback in NFL history, the most yards he's ever thrown for in his NFL career, 460. If you got $5, $50, $500, whatever it is, whatever you're feeling generous with, kirkcousins.org. Let's go flood that website with some donations and just put in the little notes or comment section that you are one of the Cousins Crusaders of Purple Daily so they know where it came from. We've been hard on Kirk on this show, but my God, 400 plus yards and the greatest comeback in NFL history. Let's go flood that man's charity at kirkcousins.org with a few donations today and tomorrow, if you're consuming it live today, if you're consuming it on demand later on. A great idea by the crazy Cousins Crusaders of Purple Daily. Who's next, Declan?
All right, let's go to Skull Vikings next year.
Yo,
What's up, dude?
At the show. I'm at the bar in Dallas. Yeah,
we're losing your connection. Let's throw him back in the green room. We'll get a better connection there.
Try again now.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, he's got some connection issues. We'll get you back on here in just a second. In the meantime, though, let's go to Austin.
Okay, you guys hear me?
We got you.
I got you. Yep.
Bro, I don't even know how to feel right now, bro. To be honest with y'all, like at halftime, I was texting my cousin who's an Eagles fan, and he was, I don't know how you guys were even 10-3. And I was like, I don't know either, bro. It's crazy. And then I was watching you guys too, and I was like, I might as well just stick in here. And you guys started saying, oh, if they score another touchdown, I was like, oh. And I turned on the game. It was like, wow, it was crazy. But yeah, to be honest, I feel like now we got the title of the division. I feel like the playoffs now, like, we gotta start looking like, okay, who are teams that could go up with us now? Like, I'm starting to think like, I don't know. I just think like, are we able like ever to just like hold a team and like just blow a team up from the beginning? Like, why do we always need to go down and have to come back to just, it's crazy. It's a good miracle to win the title, but like I just want us to like blow a team out, like oppose our will on a team, because and especially in the playoffs, like it's not a good chance that we're gonna go down 33-0 and do the same miraculous thing that we just did. But it's good that we won. I'm happy, and yeah, appreciate you guys.
Yeah, Austin, dude, thanks for coming on. I think just to answer your question, the answer at this point, we are in the middle of December. The answer is no. They don't have that club in their bag apparently to just blow a team out. They only have 3 games left on their schedule. This team, ultimately, the crazy thing is this team isn't good enough to blow teams out, and they're not good enough, whether it's defensive scheme or just personnel or lapses here and there. They're clearly not good enough to just beat the brakes off teams, but they have a quality that a lot of even good teams would love to have, which is when it's time to go in the fourth quarter, this team can hit the gas, man. They've got a quarterback that has figured out how to just hunt down the field for his best weapons. And so it's just a strange variation of Vikings football that we're not used to seeing. But give me this recipe over some of the other versions that we've seen in the past. I would rather take my chances on a team that can keep fighting in the fourth quarter when they're down than a team that maybe can build a big lead, but you're holding on for dear life as they, as the wheels are coming off. Because we've seen that Vikings team, Dex, a number of times in our lives.
Yeah, I completely agree. Let's see if Sports Dad, Judd, you got us now? Okay, I've seen you switch laptops.
Can you hear me?
There he is.
Can you hear me?
The sports dad is back. He's back.
My computer took a crap. I don't know what's going on with this thing. It decided something. I don't know what exactly. But you know what? Very fitting. On a day that the Vikings rose from the seemingly dead, that sports dad is also back with you on a different computer. And I figured it out. I figured out how to use a foreign
He
computer.
figured out technology.
I figured it out. It's unbelievable. Oh, my God. Thanks, Dex.
All right, Judd's back in the mix here. Let's keep it rolling here. Vikings Vent Line on the Purple Daily YouTube channel.
Glad we're back at full strength because we got Bob.
Bob, you son of a gun.
What's up, guys? Hey, on a day where it's 33-0 at halftime and you're taking heat from your brother, your friends, the Vikings are frauds, Cousins, the greatest bum of all time. You know, my friend puts Cousins on his bench for his fantasy league, and they're giving you crap, and they make the greatest comeback in NFL history. Well, gentlemen, I say skull to you. And I say skull to you, gentlemen, because that was impressive. And, you know, the thing about this game was it proved what we talked about last week. If we score over 35, we can beat anybody. And, you know, it's not a good idea to wait until you're 33-0 and then try to score over 35. Let's game plan it out to where we're trying to score 35 or more, and you know, against a good team, maybe you'll get the lead and you can control the game more instead of having to, you know, play from behind and, you know, play where your chances are much lower. So I mean, if you can increase the percentage of your chances of winning, especially in the playoffs against good teams by getting the lead, and keeping that passing game going to our weapons. Then use the run and sprinkle that run in because we have that game. We do have that game to use as a winning formula down the line. And I think another thing that's very important, if we could possibly win out and maybe rest our players in the last week and prepare for that first and second round, which is going to be tough no matter what, that will be another advantage that we can take into, you know, the playoffs and maybe get to the Super Bowl. So, and again, the defense is not fixable, like we said last week. It is just not fixable.
Yeah, but you know what? If you can go up, like you said, and just rack up chunks down the field, the offense scored 39 points today. This wound up, I mean, they had to have a fire lit under their ass and a reason to go and chase, you know, a 4-touchdown deficit, but Bob, you came on last week, and we agreed at the beginning of the season, if this team's going to do anything meaningful, it has to be led by an explosive, unstoppable offense, and it comes out when it has to. Let's see more of it in the second quarter. Let's see more of it early. Build a big lead, but it has to be offense, and it was in the second half today.
Yeah. I love the number 19 on the Vent Line family where he throws up the wall of Kirko chains. Love that. Oh, man, I give that guy credit. He put some time into that. That is awesome.
That was amazing.
Skull to him and skull to all the Vikings Vent Line fans.
Awesome.
Let's move on for another win next week, baby.
Bob in Pennsylvania, one of our OG Vikings Ventliners here on the show. Yeah, Judd, you missed it while you were trying to tend to a computer meltdown. We literally had Carl. He had a Kirko chains, like a wall of Kirko chains with different pictures of Kirk this season. It's very exciting.
All right. I just got a nice note. A couple in Jamaica was watching this game. Rachel, what's going on?
Hey.
So my boyfriend was on the vent line over the 4th of July.
Yep.
This is Mac.
Hey, what's going on?
So we spent our whole day in Jamaica celebrating our friend's wedding, watching the Vikings game.
Wow.
Oh my
wow. What a bad time to get married. What is wrong with these people scheduling a wedding during the greatest comeback in NFL history?
And you kept watching it?
Oh my God, we had the whole resort watching the Vikings game.
Oh, at
We
halftime,
met-
I would have said, I'm out.
Unfortunately, we met some Colts fans on the resort too.
Yeah.
Oh, keep an eye on them. Keep an eye on them the rest of the day here.
I know, we have to make sure they don't come jump us later.
Yeah. So, all right, what's the vibe? Were people celebrating in Jamaica at the bar?
People were
What
going
was it?
crazy.
The bartender made us purple shots for after.
Nice.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
It was awesome.
Well,
CJ
you guys,
Ham, KJ Osborne, Justin Jefferson, everyone scored today. That was amazing.
yeah, it's dude. CJ Ham. I think in the first half, like the poster child of Vikings offensive ineptitude would have been like jet sweep CJ Ham, but then he made up for it with a
I
rushing.
think he had a catch on that long route, but I don't know.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys for checking in from Jamaica.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Glad you enjoyed it.
Continue your party and celebration.
Some more shots for them. Just
Yes.
keep doing those purple shots now that they won.
Let's keep it rolling here. Vikings Vent Line, Purple Daily YouTube channel.
Andre, what's up, man?
Hey guys, how we doing? Big win today.
Yeah, you're telling us, man.
Might go celebrate. I'm in Hawaii right now, so just calling in from Jamaica. Now I'm in Hawaii. So
Jamaica, Hawaii, and we're stuck here in the cold.
You guys are stuck in the cold there. I got a blizzard outside in the Pacific Northwest, and these hooligans are taunting us from warm weather locations.
I think a funny thing is people talk about the two Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde of Kirk Cousins, but I think it's Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde of this team. I mean, two completely different teams in the first and second half. But my friend texted me. He said Jalen Reagor is secretly an undercover spy still for the Eagles. Because I think that Vikings are getting fleeced on that trade right now.
And sent to run wrong routes.
Yeah.
Just go there and run bad routes and cost Kirk interceptions.
Just stop running and just let the Colts get an interception. But I think KJ Osborne needs to be the number 2 receiver on this team right now, without a doubt. I mean, I don't know what his target share looked like in the first half. I didn't really watch the first half because the game started, I think, around 8 a.m. here, but he was electric in the second half.
Where did that come? So how about this? And the Vikings wound up throwing, not counting the Ryan Wright pass, 54 passes. So they had a lot of targets to go around. And KJ Osborne and Justin Jefferson both had 16 targets in this game. They both caught more than 10 passes. KJ went for $157 and a touchdown. Like, where did that, not to like dump on the guy, but where was that at any point in the last 2.5 months or so? And if that's going to be a variation that you can get from him, then yeah, I think he probably is the number 2 guy at this point.
Well,
It'd be
got
great
potential to get Yak, right? Like that's the thing about it is he's got the potential that Thielen doesn't have because when he catches the ball, he can get you yards. But the thing about why I think everyone had soured on KJ was not that he stunk, but it was if Kevin O'Connell and this offensive system is not going to use him, something must be up.
Yeah.
So like it wasn't that I thought, oh my God, he's terrible, but like he wasn't getting chances. And in O'Connell being an offensive guy, I think you defer and say, okay, if he doesn't see it, then it must not be there. And so it wasn't like this, well, KJ's just terrible. It was more of how the coaching staff was using him prior to today. But I think you're exactly right. I think from here on out, Thielen has a role as the 3 guy. He's got great hands. He'll catch passes. But if you need a real play made, it's got to go Jefferson first, KJ second, and probably Hawkinson third. And then if you just need a catch made, that's more of a Thielen department, I think.
Yeah.
Well, Adam Thielen can't run. But I think this team should go to Manny's, and I think they should go celebrate with some moo and steaks. What do you think, Dex?
Yes, my guy.
Moo.
Absolutely.
Nice win today. Thanks, Cal.
Yeah. Declan, and I would say about 50% of the people commenting on Twitter apparently like a heartbeat attached to their their dinner. So
yeah.
I like medium rare a lot. So don't
I like how some guys he's trying to make a statement how he likes that rare steak.
He is.
I love a rare steak. That is the statement I'm making. And
the statement is he wants the blood to be trickling down his chin when he's eating.
Weird. I was chewing. I just kept feeling this pulse. Boom, boom. Every time I was chewing, it was wild. This is crazy.
I am such a man that I eat my meat live.
That's right.
Live. I want to make eye contact with it. All right, let's continue here. Vikings Vent Line.
Is it Christoph?
Yes. Greetings from Austria, so it goes even further away.
Hey, Christoph.
And cold here too. One thing is the first half was a mess, but interestingly, I wasn't concerned after that half. I thought, well, crazier things happened this season and they didn't disappoint. And on the Dalvin Cook touchdown, I was in my backyard. I was screaming at my phone where I was watching the game, dancing around. It was incredible. Yes.
Awesome, man.
Wait 1 second though. So it's been a weird year. I'll fully
Yes.
admit to that. But are you saying crazier things have happened than what we saw today from the Vikings? I can't think of much more crazy than being down
No.
30 rip at halftime.
This was the craziest one of all of them. I admit to that. But there's also the Bills game. I mean, it was also crazy. And
Yeah. Christoph, thanks for jumping
Thanks,
in
Christoph.
from halfway across the world. We appreciate it. I always love when people jump on the show who actually look kind of like Vikings too. Yeah, I think Christoph looks a little like a Viking with that long flowing hair. It's a good look. Yep. All right. Who's next on Vikings Vent Line?
Matt, what's up, man?
Hey, Matt.
Oh, fellas, how we doing?
Good.
Well, we're our hearts are sort of racing out of our chests here, I think.
First, I want to say, wow, absolutely wow. Like, what changed in the second half? Like, I'm so lost.
Dude, Kirko Chains came out to play.
Right, man.
Kirko Chains. How many? What is that guy going to be wearing in the locker room after the game's over? That's
Well,
what
he's
I
got to
wanna
wear
know.
chains again now, right? Like he's got to fully embrace Kirko Chains. Let's not be like, well, we're going to get somebody else to. He's got to bring the kid in because I
Chains.
saw him there again. Bring the 7-year-old Chains kid in. Get Kirko his chains and let's go. Let's embrace that whole thing again.
First, I was spamming in the chat saying that, KJ should be wearing the chains now because, like, man, he went off. Even when Justin Jefferson went out for a couple of plays, he just took off.
Yes. Yes. I should mention, by the way, shameless plug. Over at scorenorth.com/shop right now, you can get your Mr. Fourth Quarter Comeback hooded sweatshirts and tees. Mr. Fourth Quarter Comeback with his 7th of the season over at scorenorth.com/shop. End of shameless plug. Back to Matt.
And then when I was talking to one of my friends after the game, she was like, Matt, I told you we would come back and win this game. And I'm like, that's 2 times she told me that.
That's amazing foresight, man. Amazing foresight. Matt, thanks for coming on the show. Appreciate you
pleasure,
hanging out with
fellas.
us here on this Saturday.
Good stuff.
Should we just keep it rolling here? Who's next
Yeah.
on Vikings Vent Line?
Let's go to Nathan next. Nathan, what's going on, man?
Hey, first time caller. At halftime, I was ready to fire Montel. I can't believe that they did it. I'm in week 2 of 8 of no weight bearing on my ankle because I had major surgery to put a bone graft in.
And so you couldn't even stomp off in anger after the first half.
Exactly. And their dedication and being able to see it through is kind of inspiring because it shows me that I can get through the next 7 weeks too. So
yeah, man.
Nice. Absolutely.
Love it, man. Nathan, we wish you the best.
Thank
we
you.
hope you get back on your feet at some point, and maybe the Vikings can keep helping you deep into January.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And I started watching you guys back when they did all the coaching change and all that. I started watching you guys last year. And my father-in-law is old enough to remember switching from the Packers to the Vikings because he grew up in Minnesota and there were no Vikings, and then there was, and so he's old enough to remember that. And Vikings have given this hippie and that Marine a way to bond. So thanks.
Yeah.
Love it,
Amen.
Nathan.
Absolutely.
Amen, Nathan. Keep your head up, man. Keep grinding. Who's next on Vikings Vent Line?
Yeah, let's go to Rashad next. Rashad, what's up, man?
Hey, Rashad.
So, what's up, fellas? In honor of Kirko Change, I never wear these out, but I decided to, throw mine on and pull them out. I don't know what I just watched. I am thankful. I do have some notes, but Jesus Christ, I do not like winning like this. I don't. It's very, very upsetting that we can't just blow out a team that's only won 4 games at home. And I will say this though, I'm I know I'm not the only fan. I'm sure you guys do it too. Who has just supreme optimism and is like, okay, it's halftime. We're down 30. If we just score 15 points in the third quarter, we can hope we can. And so like it was very exciting for this to happen for the first time in my life during a blowout where you're like, okay, if we just score a little and then you watch them actually chip away, that was very, very exciting. So I was happy I got to see that before I die. Can we just fire the DC? Like, is it this guy? Like, I mean, this has got to be like this game right here was a statement game for him because like we did make some pretty impressive stops, but come on, man, this is the Colts, y'all.
Rashad, I'm trying to envision the post game, like Kevin O'Connell when they win does the game balls, and I'm trying to envision like, all right, everybody, all right, we're gonna give out some game balls here. Let's give it up to Kirk Cousins, 460 yards, greatest throwing performance. KJ Osborne, 10 catches. Justin Jefferson. Ed Donatel, you're fired. Pack your bags. Dalvin Cook, it's a game ball.
It's almost like the halftime speech was like, okay, y'all know we're playing the Colts, right? Like this game is they've only won 14, only beat 4 teams this season, and everybody's like, oh yeah, then they just snapped on. I was preaching this last week. We need another receiver, so I was very happy to see KJ or anybody step it up. I don't know what was going on with Jalen Reagor. I think he's got to learn the route tree a little better in our playbook. I'm not sure what that was about, but just not give up mid route. You know what I'm saying? And put your hang your quarterback up like that. I will say also, this is the team we should have dominated, and I said this earlier, but I'll take the W. I'm pretty optimistic about our chances. Usually going into the postseason. We got to figure this out, man. For real, this is not how we're gonna win postseason play. And I even said last week, like I like our ability to come back and stay in these close games, but not against a visibly inferior team who's missing their best running back. Like nobody's talking about that. They didn't even have Jonathan Taylor. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And they're still running up and down the field. I don't know what's going on with our coverages. Like it was like they could do anything they wanted to in the first half. It was insane. I guess the halftime adjustments were a little better. Thank God for Greg Dulcich. I'm glad he made some field goals. Like he didn't miss anything today. I was actually in St. Louis Park watching the game at a bar, and I was literally screaming. These people were looking at me because they had the game on the TV. Whatever, man. I'll take the W. I'm happy for it. It's just I have to go check myself in and get my heart checked out. I can't take too many more victories like this. This is killing me. Either way, we won, 11 games. We're now 10-0 in one-score games or whatever it is. 10. I don't even know what it is. We won 10 straight games, one-score games. I'll take it. I will take it. And let's not forget, we have a first-time head coach. You know what I'm saying? A whole bunch of different pieces missing, and then they're in 1 week, out 1 week. So it's like, you got to take the good with the bad. I'll take this W. I just hope that we can win a little less close next week or at some point this season. I can't take any more one-score games.
I don't think that's it in the cards, man. I think we are destined to see that this team. I mean, if they were going to play a normal type of, okay, we're going to start to create separation. Okay, that might happen in week 6 or 7. But I think now, and this game in particular, too, you guys, it is hard to digest. Like right now.
Rashad.
Bye, Rashad. Right now, as we discuss this game on the fly, it is really difficult to digest what we just saw. Like it's not a comeback. It's not a normal comeback, right? Like the Bills
It's the
game.
greatest comeback.
Yes.
And we literally just saw the greatest comeback in NFL history.
And you were getting your ass handed to you every which way by a bad team at halftime. And then followed by what must be the greatest Newt Rockne speech in the history of Newt Rockne speeches by Kevin O'Connell. So like the Buffalo game was exciting and it was fun and it was semi-hard to digest, but I think digesting it came pretty quickly. This is going to take me a day.
Yeah,
it's a 30-point comeback.
It is. It's
come on.
I want to give the Vikings proper credit. 33.
Oh, it was 33-0?
33-0 at halftime.
Oh, I thought it was 30-7.
33 to nothing at halftime.
Okay.
Halftime.
Yep. Yeah. So 33 points. Yes, I stand corrected.
Just bonkers.
Yes.
Let's keep it going here. Vikings Vent Lines on the Purple Daily YouTube channel.
Lawyer Chase. What's going on?
What's up, guys?
Try to
Sort it out
decipher
for us.
that for us.
Yeah, counselor.
What's your
Well-
what's your closing statement on that one, guy?
Yeah. Well, first of all, Declan, happy belated birthday, my man.
Thank you, dude.
I'm a medium rare guy like Judd, but you know what? Eat your steak the way you want it.
My man.
I'm feeling just like my dog Roxy here on the floor. Passed out.
Yep.
This is nuts, guys. The drug of winning is so real. It's ice in the veins, baby. It's just yes, unbelievable. Yes, Phil. But I can't. It's so hard for me to buy in. Like, I love winning, and I love this franchise. Yes, there you go, Phil. Yes.
Oh my
God. Wow,
we're off the rails here. We're going to need you to retain you because Matt's going to get so
Maya,
messed up on it.
Yeah.
Maya, get in there. Take the bottle away from Daddy.
It's just hard to buy. It's just hard to buy in right now because they gave you 33 reasons why in the first half not to. But then you see a win like this, it's like, okay, well, what are we going to do going forward? Because we need to make adjustments for Ed Donatel. It didn't look like any adjustment made at all. So what do they do now?
Yeah, then they just come out and I get the Colts are garbage, and they hold the Colts to 3 points over the next 3 quarters, including overtime. Apparently, okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah, I just got done with the semester, so I was like, it's Saturday game. We're gonna relax. Had some beers last night. Had a good day today. Made a nice meal. I'm like, I'm ready to see the Vikings kick some Colts behind. And then I see this, and I'm like, I'm done. I can't. And then I'm listening to you guys cleaning some stuff up around the apartment like it's just a normal Saturday. And then they're coming back to win this game. It's so hard for me to buy in fully because of stuff like this. But a great win.
Amazing. Lawyer Chase.
You're right.
Lawyer Chase, part of the Purple Daily Leadership Cabinet. Right. Always here for some write that down clarifications when needed as well. Judd, someone earlier did mention a bar in St. Louis Park that they were going to. If someone were to go to a bar, I don't know, in St. Louis Park, which one would you recommend?
Well, let's see. There's I know, Park Tavern, because Park Tavern, first of all, it's got bowling. It's a big bar. It's got 2 bars. It is a great place to throw your party. So if you have, I don't know, a fantasy league draft, a birthday party for your wife, your girlfriend, guys, you can be a hero. How? By simply reaching out to my friends at Park Tavern, and they are going to set things up for you. It's an easy process. Also, a great place to watch the games. For instance, I'm sure that the bar went crazy when Greg Joseph hit that field goal to win today's game. It's this simple, 952-929-6810. If you do want to make reservations, 952-929-6810, parktavern.net. Parktavern.net. Make Park Tavern your headquarters for sports and fun. And if I'm at the corner of the bar and I have a surly in hand, certainly stop by and say hi.
All right, who's next? Vikings fan.
Let's go to the postman next.
Hey, how you guys doing?
What's going on, dude?
First thing, just want to give a shout out for the donation and cause you guys mentioned for Kirk Cousins. I made a donation myself, $20. Tagged you guys on Facebook. Tagged at Score North. Tagged Kirk Cousins. Nice. There actually is a little message thing on their website where there's 250 characters where you can also make mention of Score North, Purple Daily, etc. I'm not sure if you have any other ones that you guys want to tag. And
that's good. No, that's the cause, man. That's the cause. Awesome, man. Thank you.
Cool. Another thing I'd like you to bring up, especially next time you talk to Boone, kind of an old footballism. In terms of identifying an identity for an offense, I was always told, look at the guards. Look at the 2 guards, and you can find out what the offense should be. So I'd love to hear Boone's take on that, but also just apply it to this team. I think we kind of want to be a pass-first team, but if you look at Ezra and Ingram, we kind of get blown up in pass protection, so we can't really make the 5-step, 7-step drops. Can't really do the passing that we want to do, but KOC kind of schemes things to be open. But I think that's kind of the conflict of our offense right now. If you guys want to maybe spin off of that a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, and by the way, thank you, Postman, for your donation as we raise money for KirkCousins.org. Yeah, I mean, Ed Ingram again stepped on Kirk's foot for the 3rd time today. So if that's any indication. Ed Ingram and Ezra Cleveland have allowed the most quarterback hits. They're tied among all offensive linemen allowing the most quarterback hits on the season. Like of all of the linemen in the NFL, Ezra Cleveland and Edgar Ingram are tied for allowing the most quarterback hits. So yeah, Cleveland has been great at times, and he's a road grading run blocker. So I think there's still some promise there. Ed Ingram has been largely atrocious all season, unfortunately. I think the saving grace there is that he's young with upside, but it's been a problem for sure.
I think it's safe to say this now. I mean, because the entire season has been crazy, and today is off the charts crazy. I think it's safe to say this. Trying to make sense of the 2022 Vikings is impossible.
Yeah.
So like we're trying to rationalize this like it's a normal football team, and this is why Vegas and the national people aren't buying in, because from afar, this makes no sense. I mean, it doesn't make sense to us, and we watch the games. So, like, I feel like we're trying at times to break things down, like, well, if they just do this or that, which are normal football conversations, and I'm guilty of the same thing. But when we are now talking about a 33-point comeback, the biggest in the history of the league, I think we also have to buy in that this is just one of the strangest roller coaster rides that a major Minnesota men's sports team has ever taken us on. And I have no idea where it ends, but trying to digest it is just damn near impossible.
This is one of the most fun Vikings teams I can remember. I mean, 98 is going to be hard to top. 09, I don't know where this team's going to wind up finishing, if they wind up getting to the NFC Championship game or further, but it's definitely going to wind up just being one of the most memorable teams in my life watching Vikings football, just because of all of the different ways they've gotten back up off the mat. It's basically the Rocky Balboa of NFL football teams, right? Yeah. Just getting bludgeoned for 11 rounds and come on, Rock. You got to find it in you. You got to knock them out. And they do. And they just find a way. Vikings Vent Line, Purple Daily YouTube channel.
Rich, you want to turn around there?
Rich.
Hey.
Ho, ho, ho.
What a game today.
Absolutely, man. What are your thoughts, man? What kind of roller coaster ride did you go on today?
Oh man, my heart is still racing crazy. But one thing I thought during this game, I seen us making plays. I always thought that we had a possibility to come back because Matt Ryan is Matt Ryan. He's eventually gonna happen. And I knew that we would. I didn't think we would come back, but I always knew it was a possibility. But one thing I thought about the game was our defense. Like the first half, our defense, I'm like, fire Ed Donatel. And you said it on the previous show, Mac. You said fire him.
Did I say that on the previous show or the same show 3 hours ago?
Yeah.
One telephone show. You said I know you said it with Boone. I know you said it with Big Boone.
Yeah.
But I was just some of the things we were doing in the first half, and then the defense came alive in the second half, and they robbed us for 2 touchdowns.
Yep.
And I was like, well, when does forward progress stop? And then on that third down play, I said, Matt Ryan's forward progress better be stopped. That fourth down play. His forward progress better be stopped because they've been stopping their forward progress all day long.
Yeah.
So it better be stopped. I was on the edge of my seat with that one.
Yeah. Amen. Yeah. Rich, thanks for coming on, man. Love the Vikings Santa hat you got rocking there. Just a great avatar all around for Rich. Let's keep it moving here. Vikings Vent Line, Purple Daily YouTube channel.
All right, one more here. We had him on earlier with the guns, and I think he wants one more point to make. Luke, what's up?
Hey, Luke.
Hey, Ricky.
Yeah, I was on in the fourth quarter when I think they cut it to
ages
or
ago,
something, or 14.
Ages ago.
Yeah. I would love to know what the actual chances they had to tie the game, let alone win the game when they were down 33-0. Because it's funny, with Minnesota sports teams, whenever there's a big comeback, we always seem to be on the losing end of it. Like with the Wolves, for instance, how many big leads have they blown over the years? I mean, think back to even last year in the playoffs, and this year the the tables kind of turned because the Vikings were the team that were coming back down 33 points. Because I remember, when Dave Benz used to do the play-by-play for the Timberwolves, he'd always say, I remember, there was this game that they had I think a 16-point lead against the Sacramento Kings in the fourth quarter with 2:45 to go, and they blew it. They literally blew it.
Yep.
And I remember Dave was saying they had a 99.9% chance to win the game, the Wolves. That must have been the chance that the Colts had to win that game because a 33-0 lead is the equivalent to probably 40 something in basketball.
Yeah, I actually have, and thanks for coming on again. Love that the Rubio swag. Chris Long from Channel 5 posted a screenshot and said, as they were down 33-0, just in case, and he took a screenshot of the win probability for the Colts, and it was over 99%. The Colts, I don't know if it was 99.8, 99.5, but the Colts win probability was at halftime was over 99% to win this game. Amazing.
You know what? Yeah. I'm telling you, I'm in my head having trouble comprehending this.
Well, you know what you do when you're trying to figure out how to process a Vikings victory? You just play Ode to Joy.
I really need a Surly here. This would be one day that no drinking in the studio should be forsaken, so I can have a Surly.
Yeah. Well, I won't tell. I won't tell. Don't do it.
I don't have one right by me.
Well, boys, we've been live for 3.5
Are we done
hours
already?
here.
Are we done? I
I
jumped off at one point in time. I got in here late. I'm fresh to go. I'm out of the bullpen. Let's go.
All right, go ahead.
All right, I'm going to take you till 6 a.m. here, spinning the hits and talking about you.
So yeah, we're gonna probably peace out here because we've been live for 3.5 hours, and I know Dex has to get to the company Christmas party tonight.
Oh, are you going to see? This is why with sports, I never commit to anything.
And he might miss appetizers, which are, by the way, the best part about that party is the appetizers are incredible. So, Dex, hopefully you get there for some of those. Thank you guys so much for making this community what it is here. I mean, days like today, it's just amplified, but this is your daily Vikings entertainment fix on Purple Daily, and Vikings Vent Line is the most fan-friendly, interactive show and therapeutic show in all of Minnesota sports. You just witnessed the greatest comeback in NFL history, a 39-36 win by the Vikings over the Colts, and an NFC North division championship clinching win. We're going to process this, put a couple Surleys back, and we will have a pie chart for you, hopefully before the weekend is over, from Chef Judd.
Yeah. Oh, Chef Judd's going home to cook right now.
Beautiful.
So
again, thank you guys. Vikings Vent Line, that's a wrap for us. We just want the Vikings to win a Super Bowl before we die, dang it. See you next time on Purple Daily.